when you do the cold approach, you're just getting more variety, you're getting more abundance, you're getting more interactions, you become stronger at it. And then when you meet girls online, it's just way easier.
You're absolutely right, bro. What's good, everybody? Scotty, GLL, coming at you guys with another epic podcast. Today, I'm here with my good friend Johnny, Coach Johnny. One of the few dudes that I would really vouch for in this little industry or space, man. He's just kind of found himself, fall into it by default. Just he's met a lot of cool dudes in the industry. He's gotten very fortunate. Like the way everybody met was just a crazy coincidence, man. But down here in Miami, the circles are pretty small, so like you will bump into people. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we can go down that list, like that rabbit hole. A lot of dating coaches like reside in Brickell and Miami and stuff. But yeah, so Johnny, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, bro?
Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm Johnny, Coach Johnny here, and good friends with Scotty. I've worked with him. He's been my coach, and now he still helps me out, and we're good friends. He's also my wing. I wing with him all the time down here in Miami and South Florida. I'm also good friends with some of his other students as well. So, he knows that, I'm legit. I know Scotty's legit. And I I've been gaming hard, really hard for the last 3 years to get dedicating most of my life to it. So I've done it all: online dating, cold approach. And what I really like about winging with Scotty is he's an expert in cold approach. And it's really helped me out because I've always been good at online and cold approach, but mainly online. So when I linked up with Scotty, it really took my cold approach to the next level. And I think me and Scotty were like a good duo when we go out. We're like both tatted up. We go out and yeah, we both got the hands tatted,
Yeah.
and we always have a good time. Our styles are pretty similar. Scotty's more like a street New York style, and I'm more Miami style, and it just clicks really good. And I'm excited to be talking with you guys. I'm a fitness coach, but now I'm also in the dating space as well, more on the low, but I know a lot of guys in the industry, and I love the industry, and I respect guys like Scotty, so I'm happy to be on.
That's what I like about Johnny. Yeah, you're right, dude. We do have a lot in common. Like I was a personal trainer for like 5 to 7 years. I took a Palumbo was my bodybuilding mentor. So yeah, we do have a lot of similarities. I kind of jumped off that, in my mid 20s, but I was still training pretty hard, taking gear and stuff like that for a while. But like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
you're right, man. We did have a lot of similarities when you think about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we were both bodybuilders, and I'm still a personal trainer and coach at the gym and online, but it really helped translate me to game because I've worked with a lot of people in person. I'm used to interacting with people. I talk a lot on camera for my business, and I'm always in interaction. So the game has helped me with my fitness business, and my fitness business has helped me with my personal game as well, and helping other students out as well, which we'll be getting into, in the video.
Yeah, Johnny's really one thing about Johnny, he's really good. Just like he's so natural. He could just hop in there now. Like I'm sure he probably learned it over time, but like he's very good. He's a very good people person. Like girls never feel like a certain type of way around him. Like he makes girls feel very comfortable. I feel like that's one of your strong suits. Like he can hop in on a two set. I was opening up a group of girls the other day. Like we were in Moxie's or whatever, and like they were on vacation for some girl's birthday, and I just opened up a three set. They were out to eat, and all of a sudden Johnny pops in and starts flirting with the girl next to me. Like the
Smoking
next thing you
hot.
know, he
Those,
got her
those,
number
those,
and just swept right in there like perfectly. Like my other client was intimidated to even jump in. There was like two really hot girls and like one kind of middish girl, but like, dude, that
One
was
of us had to go in.
yeah. Dude, I didn't even ask for it either. I just went in by myself, but Johnny was watching and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna hop in too." So that's one of the things about Johnny. Just he's really well versed. He's really well versed, and it's hard for me to vouch for a lot of guys that are definitely pretty solid. Like he's definitely, there's a few things and he's open minded to learning too, which so am I. Like when it comes to online or like relationships. I mean, some of those things are not like my area of expertise, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like you can keep getting better at this shit. You shouldn't have a big head. I know in this space everybody thinks they're like, pro at this, pro at that. Like the guy I learned, that's why I can never shit on some of the people that taught me in the industry because I don't know, Brad P and those guys, like they were well rounded, but there were certain guys that specialized in certain things, and that's how he would market each coach. Like, all right, if you're going to work with Scotty, this is, he's specialized in like fast seduction. And if you really want to like hone your skills on that, he's like an expert in that type of thing. He's good at everything else too, but that's kind of like where that's his bread and butter. You know what I mean? It's like any
Yeah.
athlete or anything, bro. Certain people have certain strengths and weaknesses, and I think people need to like be open to that idea, like so that's
Yeah,
their.
no, yeah, no, for sure. I'm always open to learning, and it's like this week, I felt really comfortable, winging with you and getting that hot black chick's number. I mean, I just went in and I was like, hey, it looks like our friends are in love. And I just introduced myself and I was talking with everybody. So feeling really comfortable and set and when you're out is really important. So like congruency and everything, like making it like part of our lives. Like
Yeah,
me and you, Scotty, like game is like our life, and life for me is like a game, it's like a video game, and I want to live the life that I want to live. So when it comes to meeting women in general, I just make it part of my life. So I know that we're going to be going out. I know I'm going to be doing online. I know that I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to have like a structured life to where I can have game in my life. So what I like about winging with you is that we both feel comfortable in all different type of sets. Like it's never feels awkward. It's just part of our lives.
yeah, dude, it's true, man. It's funny, Johnny's one of the few clients or people that I work with, like who actually like it doesn't look awkward when we're out together. A lot of girls are like, okay, these two seem like they're bikers or something, or like they look like
Yeah.
they're a match. Like a lot of the clients I would go out with, you know how it is, man. Like they don't necessarily look like that you'd be rolling with them to begin with, right?
Yeah, I've always joked around with you. I'm like, we're gonna have our own show one day, Johnny and Scotty show, because we're similar when we go out. We just have a certain vibe where we click together, and that's what I like about you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Johnny already he's got some coaching experience too. So like he's going forward, like he's ingrained in this, so he's going to be like possibly coming out as an assistant, when once we start doing more boot camp styles, because I've just been generally focusing on like one-on-ones with guys. Not that I'm against boot camps, I just haven't had the manpower, and I don't want to just throw any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there as an assistant. So like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? So it's a hard process to find someone. Granted, I haven't really been looking that hard, but yeah, there's a lot of the guys that I've worked with, honestly, I would put them up against 95% of the coaches out there. Like, there's some really, really good guys that I work with. I'm glad that, like, and I'm not saying this, like, if you're a beginner, cool, we can work on your approach anxiety and the stuff that you need to work on. But, like, I think I like that I attract other guys that are pretty advanced too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
the way
it's,
that I looked at it is I could always improve, and I had some wingmen that work with you, and they're really good. So when they told me about you, I'm like, yeah, I'll work with Scotty, and I've been really focused on game for the last 3 years. So I would love to be an assistant, and I've also coached guys on my own. I have my own business, so I've coached guys on my own. I've helped out boot camps, and I really like helping people because it's part of my life already. So it's easy for me to teach, and I'm continuing to learn by the day. So I just kind of made it part of my life.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Honestly, like the training was a good starting point for me for sure. Like it got me like a lot of validation, mostly from men. I did get a couple like girls from the gym avenue, but it's not something I
Yeah.
bank on. Like as a kid, like out of high school with minimal sexual experience, that's kind of how I got my feet.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I got my feet wet. So I got love for the bodybuilding world, but like and the training world, but it's a good starting point for coaching, just interacting with people, like
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
But
more
yeah.
rewarding seeing a guy get his like dream girl or getting
Oh
laid
yeah.
for the first time, because there really is some weird like male like loneliness epidemic going on. Like we're in a weird time in the dating market for sure, man. Really
Oh
fucking
yeah.
weird.
No, helping somebody get better with girls and get a girlfriend or get a rotation of girls and just have the ability to do what they want with what we teach is such a beautiful, rewarding thing. And that's why I love this stuff. I love helping people, and I love the results that I've gotten. And I love when some of my guys get good results and they send me text messages of how much I helped them. It's like a really rewarding thing.
Yeah, dude. It
Yeah,
really is
for
rewarding.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, so we can get into we were gonna say before, like one thing about me and Johnny is like the congruency, and I think a lot of that, like it goes hand in hand with lifestyle too. Like I know a lot of guys are in position right now where they just can't afford to, do as much as like we do on a day-to-day basis, but because some of these guys are lawyers or whatever, they're just working, grinding like 10 to 12 hours, and they really don't have that many opportunities to be taking shots and stuff like that, which I understand. I happen to be very fortunate where, like, my job growing up was I never really had a job. I never really worked for anybody. I worked for my dad, which was primarily out in the field, so to speak, talking to girls at grocery stores, picking up cash, being very much integrated. It was so easy to integrate into my lifestyle, especially in New York City before the blow up of like online dating and shit like that, where there was girls out all the time and the approach you were the like if you made a good impact, like you would rise to her cue real quick. Nowadays,
Yeah.
girls sometimes are picking the guy. They're excited about the guy on Instagram sometimes more than the dude who swept her, gave her a nice little interaction in person, which is crazy. So
Yeah.
it just carries more weight now.
Yeah,
But
no, no, for sure. I mean, I'm pretty busy myself, and when I first started game, I was like training people at the gym all day. So what I would do is have structure. So I would do like online dating, in between like my lunch break. And then at night I would go out and I would either almost when I was going hard almost every night, I would either go out or I would schedule dates at night. And that's pretty much what I would do now. Now I have a girlfriend who's like we're like one way open where I continue to game and crush it because she knows I'm a coach and I do this for real.
yeah,
so so I'll spend, like most of the week with my girlfriend, and then I'll have like 2 weeks, 2 days out of the week where I'll either do cold approach with you or my other wings, or I'll do like a date from online or whatever. So you just got to have structure because right now I'm real busy with business, my girlfriend. I also have a son. So you just got to have some structure so you could live the life, almost like a monk lifestyle where you're like just like engraved in it. So if you don't make it part of your life and have structure, you'll never get good at it. So even for people that don't have the time, they could create some sort of structure like how I have, where it's like, okay, once or twice per week, I'm going to go on dates, or once or twice per week, I'm going to get numbers, go out, cold approach, just as long as you're staying fresh a few times a week. But like when we were in our prime, um, going out every night, that's how you get really good.
yeah, dude, yeah. And it's also part of your personality. Like Johnny doesn't really like turn it on and off. He's not out there putting on a cape. You don't notice he's not saying any weird lines. Like who he is here is pretty much who you're going to see out in the field. Obviously,
Yeah.
with just good calibration, being able to turn it on,
Yeah,
and flirt with chicks.
I
But
could turn it on different times. When I'm out, or I could be with my son at like some arcade, and there's some hot mom or hot milf, kind of hitting on me, and then it's just right in, flip that switch. My son sees it, and it's a good thing, And I could flip that switch anywhere. Like I could be with my girlfriend, and she might be down for like a three-way. And there's like some milf, and she gives me the heads up, like, "Oh, I like her. Let's go talk to her." And then boom, I flip that switch there. There's just so many different pathways to meet these girls. So yeah, you gotta always be on, you gotta always be ready, because performance anxiety could hit at any time. So
yeah,
you just
brother.
gotta the more you practice, the better it gets.
It's true. Like the purpose of these like boot camps and stuff like that is for just like the mass exposure and just getting the reps in there so it really starts to just rewire your brain, your nervous system so that when you see you go. That go button, I think we call it like killer instinct or whatever. Like you have to be able to see and then go so that, by the time you're not really socially lubricated, you have no momentum, and then you're with like your son or your daughter, your whatever, your dad. I was the same way, what Johnny's describing too. Like I'm always on go. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I own it 100%. I think that's what people in general, and then women love it even more. When you're able to just own who you are as a person, you know what I mean? And it's just part of who I am. A lot of guys, and we know a few of them, a few of our wings and stuff that are, they're like, oh man, if my family knew about this or whatever, like a lot of guys don't want to let this be known. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
never hit it, man. I was just proud of it off rip from
Yeah, I
Jump
never I
Street.
never I never been ashamed to, talk about my passion with game with anybody. I'm not ashamed to say that I've paid for help, by some of
Yep.
the best and including you. So I'm investing in my life, so I've gotten help. Guys, I've gotten help with everything, business. I paid for help with business. I paid other personal trainers to train me to get better. And then, for getting good with girls, it's a no brainer because what do we want in life? We want to be good with business, good with the gym, good with family, and then good, with girls. I mean, every guy wants those things, period. So there's no like shame on who we are. You've gotten help, I've gotten help, and we help guys. So it's like it's just who we are.
Yeah, dude. I mean, my parents, they always raised me saying like, like do what you love, make money doing what you love. And they would say things, they never really shied away from that, like getting a coach and stuff like that, paying for help, like paying for a mentor to guide you, help you. Like I remember I was 16. I wasn't allowed to train in the gym by myself. I think my dad immediately put me with a trainer, like paying pretty good money for a trainer and stuff like that. I was in a
Yeah.
good situation, but you're right. I was never against that. I think it's incredibly important, dude. I mean, honestly, like that's why I would ask Johnny for like some relationship. I have no problem asking him for certain advice when it comes to certain
Yeah.
relationship stuff, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just the friendship. Like people are,
Yeah. We,
yeah,
we talk about that all the time. You'll ask me questions about relationships. I've been in a lot of relationships. So, and I've had a lot of girlfriends that stuck around for a while. And like your niche is more like getting girls and rotation and, cold approach and maximizing that. So that's why we're a good, duo and
yeah, for sure.
friendship. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We,
man.
we had some pretty cool sets and funny sets the other day. Um, Remember you ran into that one girl that was kind of a bitch and like she kind of blew you out and then immediately like I'm talking about the cool thing is like she that was like straight up bitch.
Yeah.
And then immediately you're like, wow, that's like worst rejection I've ever got. And then boom, you see like the hottest, what was she, Jamaican or Haitian? Like super hot.
She was a 19-year-old Jamaican chick. She was like, yeah, she was smoking hot, dude. But yeah, then she
Yeah,
just
so like
responded
you
really
you
well.
flip you didn't even need to flip the switch. You just immediately after that you go and just get this super hot 19, 20-year-old Haitian and her eyes are all swollen up and I'm like, damn, that's Scotty right there. Yeah,
Dude, that's
I
the
was
beauty.
really I was really impressed with how like you went from that one, that girl was just having a bad day to just boom, right in your face. Like immediately the next girl, like she could have even seen that set and you just went right in, like not caring on the street in Brickell. And yeah, and then
Yeah,
I
it's
had
pretty
I
cool.
I had that good set with that hot girl with super thick Latina girl. That was fun, and you were like, "Wow, I wish I got that on camera. That was awesome."
Yeah, because guys, listen to me very carefully. Like, you got a lot of people make excuses and yeah, but this and I'm this ethnicity, I'm this tall, I'm that. Like Johnny's not he's not the tallest guy in the world. Like he's like I don't know, but he's definitely below or he is average to below average. I don't know
Yeah,
in
no, I'm
height.
definitely below average. I'm
Okay,
I'm
so
I'm 5'6".
he's
I
five
yeah
six.
I look a little bit taller because I have a lot of muscle and tattoos. So when we're out, I may not appear 5'6". They might think I'm 5'8", but that's still I'm
Bro,
still
it has not hindered this guy at all. He's a machine,
yeah
like at all. It's pretty impressive to watch. It's inspiring. He's a total machine. It does not phase him. He gets like legitimate hot girls. His girlfriend now is like a smoking hot Latina chick,
yeah. She's
much younger.
23,
Yeah,
one way open, and
he's really living the. That's why I'm saying this guy is definitely qualified. He's definitely living the life, and he's not putting on an act. And that's the key to congruency. Like you got to make sure that like this is not an act. You're not putting on a cape when you go out and doing pickup, like because that has an expiration date, because you're gonna eventually be like, oh, that was just some weird phase I went through and whatever. Like there is
yeah
no, I was telling Johnny, like there's no exit strategy, there's no end date to this. Like I really do love the game. Sometimes I want to go see our buddy D and you have more results than me, bro. I take as many chicks
yeah
as we want.
yeah
I'm genuinely happy when my guys get what they want. They get the girls because, dude,
yeah
it's like medicine, man. Like I'll tell you, I'm not immune to it. That hurt that rejection for a minute, but
yeah.
still,
She was
she was ruthless.
ridiculous,
Yeah, it
ruthless.
hurt, but like, boom, it's how you bounce back. It's how you respond, and I know that it's right around the corner. It's not. I've seen it enough times. I have enough proof of concept to know that, as quickly as is a negative reaction, it's going to be a positive reaction right around the corner. And it's not personal at all. It's absolutely not personal. So, you know, that only comes though with experience. I really believe that, or else a lot of guys will not stick it out. They wouldn't have the guts to just keep going and, kind of just rub it off their shoulders if, without a coach or without a good wing. Some guys would devastate. I've taken clients out, even clients that I'm working with. They've literally had to tap out. They've had some of the worst rejections I've ever seen. It was just too devastating for them, too traumatizing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And just overall, like actually approaching and putting yourself out there, when you do this enough times, you know that that's part of the game. And that was just really impressive how you just bounced back. I mean, I would have done the same, but the way that it happened in the matter of seconds, from like the harshest rejection you could get, and it's just because the girl was just straight up like crazy lunatic,
right.
to immediately like boom, right and set, girls in your face, just her eyes open, and you're just doing your thing. That's important. That's important.
It's very important, dude.
I
And
you know
John, that was honestly like the other day. I don't know. I was just really impressed with Johnny's set that he had. Like he was really authoritative, and like she's probably like 5'8", maybe 5'9". She was
Yeah,
tall,
she was
thick.
taller than me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's taller than Johnny. She was like smoking hot chick right in Brickell. She was Dominican or something or Spanish, but she was like really hot, crazy curves. And he was just, at first, she wasn't really all in. That's the beauty. We were going to get into this topic too about the importance of the styles of openers when you're in that type of environment, with a girl walking towards you with a full head of steam. Um,
Yeah, she was on her way to the gym.
yeah.
And
Johnny first took his first swing, like first stop at it, and she kind of wanted to keep going. Naturally, girls are programmed to just keep it pushing. And he wasn't really having that. And then
I didn't
eventually
let
she
her
was
go.
smiling. Yeah, you didn't let her
Yeah.
go. You were holding her hand the whole time. You really hit her with a good authoritative stop. It was really like total control. You weren't rattled by her, initial kind of soft, rejection, but you stayed in there. You stayed in the pocket and you were
Oh
strong.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
good.
she didn't speak any English. She spoke Spanish. She was actually Colombian, and I stayed in set with my Spanglish. And my Spanish is good enough to game girls who only speak Spanish and go on dates and stuff, but it's not like perfect Spanish. So I switched to Spanish. And when I switched to Spanish, she really opened up, and I kept my hand holding her hand. And, we talked for a bit. She gave me her number, and she's been replying. That was like a few days ago. She's been replying, and I could definitely go out with her. So that was a really good set. I really like that one. And I like how you were impressed by it too, because you saw how like she wanted to keep walking, but I stayed in set. I kept holding her hand. She stopped, she smiled, and then immediately she's been texting me back. So that was a real cool set. And the fact that I
That
switched to Spanish and my Spanish is not too good, I really like that I did that as well. Because you want to keep trying, even if she doesn't speak your same language.
True, Johnny. It's true, man. Like it shows. I think that's the problem. Sometimes if you have all the physical gifts in the world and the raw attributes to get a lot of a wider pool of women, you still it kind of spoils men. They don't have that second swing, and it wasn't until like I taught a few of these guys how to do like there's a level of persistence, or you're just going to wait for that one girl to just give you total Chad tier treatment, which is a very small percentage. They may even think you're fucking really handsome, but they're just not. When they're walking, during the day, they're not really programmed to just go goo goo gaga and stop initially. It does require a level of persistence, and I think the girl at some level like really respects that. Like, wow, this guy was unreactive and was just had the balls and he wasn't taking no for an answer. A lot of times that's what they'll say, looking in the rear view, like, yo, what after you guys fucked, you asked her like, oh, I remember D telling me, he's like, one girl said to him was, she's like, you gave me no reason to say no. I just love the courage. And you just stayed with it. They reward that. They do reward that behavior. It's not coming
Yeah.
off needy. It's just being like, you know, there's a little bit of a chase there. Initially, there is until you're able to flip the script to a certain degree where it feels like she's chasing you, and then usually when she fucks, it's the roles are reversed completely. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the
no,
beauty
for
of it.
sure. Yeah, it's important to stay persistent in a lot of these sets, especially during day game or like when they're walking away or when they're walking towards you. Sometimes you got to stay in set and be persistent, probably most of the time, because if not, they're just gonna walk by. So
Yeah.
that's what I like your style, the authoritative stops and everything like that. Like you got D super good, man. I mean, I've been winging with him like every week, like once a week, and he's
Yeah,
a
he's
he's
a
a
beast.
he's a monster, bro. He's a monster.
Yeah,
He had some of the best sets the other day. I mean, that was incredible.
yeah,
I was really impressed. Like, yeah, some of the best I've ever seen out of
yeah.
anybody. And I know a lot of people in the industry. Yeah, you got him super good.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks. That means a lot, dude. I've been really working hard with that guy
I
for
mean,
like,
yeah, I mean, besides you, I mean, he's the only one I really game with, because no one could really kind of keep up. He's just became a monster. And he doesn't really do a lot of online, so he meets a lot of girls in person. So
yeah.
I like winging with him because me, I do a lot of online too, but what I like working. I like working, going out with you and working with you, and I like going out with D as well because that's what he does. That's what he's good at.
And he's so good, like he's just a good overall individual. He's a good dude, and I think he wants this so bad. I think like he's always very helpful. People love listening. Like he was gonna hop on the call tonight, the stream, but he's like the type of guy where if he's not, you know, like converting all these girls, like he's not gonna feel fully satisfied. He wants to feel like, he got the big W. But in my eyes, as a coach, he's there's undeniable that he's progressing and getting way better. Like you keep, my dad always used to say, you're responsible for the effort, not the outcome. There's just going to be, it's the roll of the dice. Sometimes it's just not going to always be. It's very volatile. Like people expect this to be a math equation. It doesn't quite work like that. Game
No,
just doesn't
no,
work like that. So I get being frustrated after putting in some hard work or whatever, but it wasn't a matter of like his skill set was like really bad or anything like, or he's
oh
regressed. He's
no,
getting
no.
noticeably way
That
better.
was some of the best sets I've ever seen in person. I was really impressed. The thing is that the difference between me and D, he's like my best friend, but with me, I'm more willing to like close and have sexual romance with different girls, while he's more like he likes to screen them out, girlfriends. He wants to have like a wife in the future. So with me, I'm more about like abundance and having, a lot of sexual romance. So if he had more my approach, he would definitely have an insane amount of abundance. He just doesn't want that, but he's definitely good to where if he wanted to, if D wanted to, he could just be like flooded with sex, you know. But he doesn't want to do that. Some of our students will probably would rather not have sex with all these girls, but we could give them the ability to learn where they could have sex with a lot of girls and have a big rotation, or you could kind of do what D does and kind of screen them out and potential wife, stuff like that. That's the beauty of the game, you know.
Really unavoidable. Like at the end of the day, it's still raw attraction no matter what. So you kind of
Yeah,
can't skip this step, regardless of what your end goal is. You still need the basic, like your raw attraction with the chick. Like you need to still do all the same stuffs. And ultimately, like it puts him in a tough spot. I do get it. Like where, honestly, that's how these girls are in today's world. Like it's just like the window is so small, like you kind of have to get in there as quickly as you can. And when you're looking for a wife, you're gonna, you know,
you're gonna have
it
to go through a lot. Like
basically, yeah, it took
a lot of
Johnny, like
guys.
I think he took him like well over like a 130 before he like even found his girl now. So like it's a lot. So you it's just the nature of the beast. I don't see how that's avoidable. I have yet to, figure that out where if just because your end goal is marriage, wife, kid, how do you skip this step? Like, I don't know. Maybe you tell me. I don't see a way to go. You still have to go through this. Like, how else?
Yeah,
You don't know. You don't know who's who. You don't know who you're compatible with. And unfortunately, this idea of waiting until marriage or whatever is wild because like you just don't know who that girl is. Like you're getting a bit of a front with all people in general before. I think that's why the game is even a thing because it's women are putting on a big front before it. You want what you never had. You want something brand. You love the novelty of it. Like everybody's putting on a bit of a front. The guard that pillow talk stuff is real. Like the guard comes down, the veil comes down a little bit after you guys sleep with each other. It's just, I think it's biology. Like it just seems like there's after sleeping with so many women, there's like a natural shift that takes place after you sleep with the girl, you're intimate with her. It is like a it isn't viewed casually. That's why it's something different happens afterwards. Like it is supposed to be a transformative experience. I mean, there's an entire subset of like spirituality dedicated towards unifying as a person, like based around sex, believe it or not, which is pretty wild. I think it's called like not fuck is it called? Anyway, I forgot the name
Yeah.
of it, but yeah, dude, so yeah, I don't know. You tell me, Johnny. I don't think it's like it's really unavoidable. You still have to, regardless of what your end goal is, you still have to kind of go through this learning phase and become a guy who can attract a lot of girls, a bigger pool to choose from. If like you want something very specific, such as D, and all of us, quite frankly, want something very specific. The better you get, the higher your standards go. You're
Oh
not going to
yeah.
settle for anything. That's the idea of this, is that you're leveling up your game to like somewhat be on the level playing field with a woman, basically, and have that type of abundance where that's why they're very picky and they're very indecisive and they have a lot of options. So like, when we level up like that, we're going to be the same way. We have higher standards. So it's just the way it is. You need a big pool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most guys, what they do is they just kind of wait around and then they become boyfriend and girlfriend with the first girl that kind of likes them.
Right.
And that's definitely the wrong approach because, from my experience, like the more women I meet, the more that I see what I like. And for a potential wife or longtime girlfriend, like you have a lot more to choose from compared to somebody who doesn't game, who doesn't practice, who doesn't go out, who doesn't have all these interactions like we do. They're going to just get whatever they could get. And maybe they get lucky, but then what if they break up? What if they have a divorce? They're back at square one. While guys like me and you, who this is part of our life, like a girlfriend leaves us, or if we would decide to get married one day and we get a divorce, like this is engraved in us and we know exactly what to do. And it's like never a problem, and then, we come from choices, from abundance. That's for me, that's just the better life. And a lot of guys, they don't really think about that. Like they think about work and, gym, but they don't really think like, okay, I want to be good with women and I would want a hot girlfriend or like a cool girl that I could interact with. Well, you're going to have to go through a lot of them to find one. So whatever
Mhm.
your goal is, whether it's to find a dream girl or to have a rotation, or have a rotation of girls and find a dream girl, or have like a one-way open girl where she lets you see other girls, kind of like what I have. It's going to take a while. The first girl that I meet is not going to it's not going to accept that. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's unavoidable, and men have to get good at this. It's like a must. The way that I look at it, and I looked at it from before, and now even more, like this is like a must. Like I must stay good, I must stay sharp, and I must keep getting better
Yep.
because this is what I want. You guys got to ask yourself, what do you truly want? Like, what lifestyle do you want? And most guys want hot chicks. Most guys want girls around. They're lying if they don't.
Yeah, dude. And like it's honestly, why wouldn't you? Every single girl has this, they kind of have this mindset by default already, so you do have the ability to see things like kind of through how the girl's doing it. Like that's typically, if we're gonna be putting a girl in a relationship category, like she's definitely checking, like we must really like her, to a certain degree. It's
Yeah.
not just like a mindset where you feel like you're settling, you're unsure. Like she's checking a lot of boxes for us to even settle down with them. And that's how they feel. Like they have that 24/7,
Yeah,
Um,
we want to have that even playing field where we have that abundance, we have the skills, we have the lifestyle to where we could be like, okay, this girl, I like her, she's sticking around, she checks off the boxes, I'm gonna keep her. Or it could be like, oh, she's hot, but she's a bit annoying. I'm gonna kind of just keep her on rotation. I don't really care. So it's good to have those options. And if a girl comes into my life and I want to keep her around, best believe she has to be really good, because I know what I'm capable of, and it's just like I would never want to settle with something that I don't truly want to be in, and that's
yeah.
important. This is our life. This is, I got one life as Coach Johnny. So it's like
It's true,
I
man.
want to live the best life, and that means having girls and being good with girls and having girls around. I mean, life is game, it really
It
is.
really is.
Like, why do we work? Why do we go to the gym? Part of it is because we love it and we want to be good, but a lot of it, truthfully, is because we want to, we want some hot chicks around.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And honestly, the skill set itself actually kind of remains the same, regardless if you're looking for a girl or just a one night stand. In my personal opinion, after so many years doing this, I think it's essentially the same thing. Nothing really changes that much up front. Not at all. Like it's still
Yeah,
the
the way
same.
the
It
way
still
that
looks the same. It
the
still looks.
way the way that I met my girl is the same way I would meet a girl, if I had a one night stand with her. It's the same process in the beginning.
It's the same process. Yeah. So like, there's no way around it, man.
I
And you're
don't think I
right.
would have met. I wouldn't have met my girlfriend now. I've been with her for 8 months. We have a good relationship. 9 months actually today. It's our month anniversary.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Congratulations.
I would have never really met her if it wasn't for game. I actually met her online, but that same week, I closed a girl from night game at one of the clubs down here in Miami, and it was like the best close ever. It was a girl who was on vacation. It was just like the perfect night game close. And then I met my girl a few days later, and just the confidence when I went on a date with her, and it was just like I believe that it's really the confidence really came because I closed that girl from night game that week, a few days before, and
Yeah.
it just translated to online. So like online is good, but if it wasn't for the all those hours on the field in the streets, when I go on these dates with these girls, it wouldn't be as easy. So that's the thing, guys. Like
Yeah.
a lot of guys, they solely do online. But I really believe that cold approach will get you even better at online because when you go on the dates, it's like another interaction and you're just so used to it. It's like cakewalk.
Yeah. Your view of women will be kind of like warped if you only know women through dating apps. And it will be kind of an empty lifestyle too. Like,
Yeah, you won't even know them as much. Like when you meet a girl in person and you see the interaction and then you're in set, it's like if you just meet girls online, you'll never break through that performance anxiety. It just won't be good. And a lot of guys they solely do online and Instagram and stuff, and it's nothing like meeting a girl in person, man. It
it's
really
honestly
is.
like to me, it's always been like two totally different lanes, and that's why you'll see, I think, a lot of these online dating coaches exclusively, like they don't mind collaborating with like a cold approach guy because they know even like their target audience is like completely different. If you're looking for that, you're looking for just a quick, you're kind of looking for a quick way, to skip the line, so to speak, and like, have everything handed to you on a silver platter. Because like I think going out in the field and actually working on your social skills and your social dynamics and the ability to read women and interact with them and just build on your social skills like that takes a lot more effort, and I
It's a
think
lot more rewarding too. Like if you meet a girl from cold approach and you get to know her and you have like romance with her, I mean, the feeling that you get is just for me. I feel like it's just superior. Like you just feel better about it. It's like in business. It's like closing a bigger sale, with more money because you went up to her, you approached her in the bar in front of everybody. You got her number in front of everybody. You closed her, and everyone knew, everyone saw. You just feel really confident. Compared to just meeting a girl online, going on a date, or meeting at your house. It's just not the same. I use both. I use a lot of both, but I believe that doing both, and I did a video of this today. I'm posting it on Instagram. It's
nice.
like it was like online dating versus cold approach, and it was like I basically said that like don't be the loser that only does online. Like I do both, and I met my girlfriend from online, but when you do the cold approach, you're just getting more variety, you're getting more abundance, you're getting more interactions, you become stronger at it, and then when you meet girls online, it's just way easier.
You're absolutely right, bro. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like I honestly, I always say it's like medicine, bro. Without it, like, what are you doing? You're like an introverted. You're living as a hermit. As one of my, I'm in a pickup house now with my student, and he was like saying how he felt like a hermit, and he has well over 100 bodies, strictly off the internet too. So like
Yeah.
he didn't even feel he felt very isolated. it's like ordering your meals instead of ever going out and going to, do the hunting yourself. Really, it's a big difference. And I would compare it to like actually going to the gym, working out, getting the pump, feeling it, living it, and then just ordering supplements, something that's a side thing, like just view it as a supplementation thing, not as a primary thing. It's not what even we're talking about, that so it's becoming the dude that you want to be. You're not going to have the same skill set at all if that's all you do. Your
Yeah, I
ability to
mean,
interact with people, your confidence is not going to be the same at all.
yeah, I mean, every guy truly wants to be able to be like anywhere, like out and about and approach a hot girl and get her number and get to know her. Like that's a lot more rewarding. And plus, you're gonna have a lot better success as well because what if you're on vacation? What if you're going out with friends? And what if you're just at the gym, grocery store? I mean, there's so many missed opportunities if you're only doing online. So just for the overall result and abundance, you got to do both.
Yeah, I think one feels more organic. That's the word I'm looking for. It just feels more natural. Like it's more congruent with life itself. Life itself is very spontaneous, right?
Right.
It's
I
there's
look at something like I look at it like it's something that I have to do, like approaching and meeting girls in person, but also it's a lot of fun too.
it
Like when
is.
we go out, we have a blast, and then we always talk about the results and the fun night we had. And at the end of the night, we celebrate with kava and shit and kratom and go to the bars and shit and talk about it. It's just a lot of fun, when we hang out. It's a lot of fun when I hang out with D, and it's just like it's just totally different.
Yeah, how do you compare that to like just swiping? It's like shopping on Amazon or something for a girl. It's more of an isolating, man-made way of meeting women. And this is coming from someone, yeah, my current girlfriend is from the internet too, but I s- it's not it's just a totally different experience. And I don't think I would have gotten her if I didn't have the foundation in place. If I had, you know, or else my house would have been a house of cards. It would have been built on nothing. Like, dude, these guys that spend day and night and take online dating like it's if that's your only stream of women, that could be taken away from you. No one could ever take away this from you. This is a permanent skill that you have forever. I mean, there's nothing. Even if you happen to be single at 50, like it's very natural and normal for like a guy to be walking on a boardwalk at a grocery store and flirt with chicks, talk to chicks. It's very natural, bro. Like you're
Yeah.
never out. You're never out aged. You never age out of the game, really. If
Yeah. I mean, like I have a really good profile, probably the best that you could possibly have for online. And when I look back at like my progress, like a lot of the girls that I met from cold approach. So it's like I have probably the best profile you could have. And when I look at a lot of the girls that I've gotten with and the success I've had, if I only did online, I wouldn't have had nearly the same success. And also, like I'm in Miami, guys, so it's like a lot of the hot chicks they don't need to go online.
nope.
A lot of girls online are like girls who work full time and don't go out, but you're not going to be meeting those girls that you would meet during the day or at night because some of those girls don't even go online and they're flooded with messages so to even get a hold of them, unless you have a rock star profile, good luck. So that's another reason why you got to do both because what does a hot chick need to really do online? And they probably even have profiles on Tinder and Bumble and Hinge, but they probably never even go on it, you know?
It's a good
They,
point,
they
man.
probably get a lot of girls will get turned off by it because there's a lot of creeps and stuff. They get so many messages and they're always out and about. Like, how would you get a hold of those girls? And I have probably the best profile you could possibly have. I spent a lot of time and effort in my profiles. So it's like, yeah, when I look back at the progress I had, it wouldn't have been the same nearly if I only did online. I do a lot of both. And I'm the first to say that, yeah, online is easier and it's a little bit less nerve wracking. Well, a lot less nerve wracking, but it's the results are just not the same unless you do both.
Yeah.
Like you pretty much do everything. Cold approach. You barely, rarely do online. That's why I was surprised that you got a girl online. I wasn't surprised, but I would have thought you met her out because she's like your type.
Because listen, dude, like you have to adapt. I mean, there's just certain cities that I've been in or whatever that have not really been that good for cold approach. I mean, as you know, like even New York City, which is considered like the mecca for cold approach, it basically um everything slowed down after like this whole era, like since online dating, the pandemic, like the night scene is not as good anymore. Like people just don't go out as much as they used to, you know what I mean? So like you just have to adapt. I've been in some pretty shitty cities where like, yeah, you kind of have to do online dating. They're more online dating cities. So you should have I'm not sitting here saying like you shouldn't have a profile. I definitely think you should, but I do not think it should be your only stream of women. That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
silly.
you're not going to have the same results unless you do both, and you're not going to have those experiences that I've had where I look back and I'm like, bro, that was a crazy night to my wing or to Scotty or to D, and be like, dude, that was wild. I
Yeah.
can't believe I closed that girl from Burkle. I can't believe I closed that girl from Coconut Grove. That was wild. You saw how she rejected me, and then I stayed in the set. She came back out. We started talking. We clicked, closed there. Like that's like experiences that you can't get from just online. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not only is it something that we have to do to be good at this, but it's also like I wouldn't want to only do online because all the fun times I've had and all the times that like my clients have had and your clients have had, like it's just like fun to look back, bro. That was a crazy night, man. Yeah.
Dude, I think it's a totally different muscle, altogether, like that you're working on, and I think it's made me a better man in general. Like you mentioned, family earlier as super important, friends, good support. Like I don't think I would have met you if it wasn't for Cold Approach or any of my like really good friends. So like I
Yeah.
attribute it to becoming like a better man in general, being able to face people, face issues, face whatever obstacle you have to face. Like when you ask majority of men, like their biggest fear in life, usually approaching hot women is right up there as far as one of the biggest fears in life. So when you cut off that big branch of fear, rooted in your life, all of a sudden you're like, it just opens up the door to a lot of things. Like it seems a lot smaller than previously when you conquer this one and you overcome this big obstacle and this fear of approaching. Like
Yeah.
what is not now all of a sudden, I'm not as afraid of like your father growing up as much. Like when I started to learn in
Yeah.
my early 20s, like, things just don't seem to be as intimidating after cold. I was a cold approach beast, just all every day, all the time, doing some ballsy ass shit that most men can't do. How many times, Johnny, we go out and I see a guy be just me and Dan joke about it. We call it the exorcist effect. He's just like turning his head, bro. That's all guys do. You see guys, they just see a hot chick and they turn their head. Like you don't want to be one of those
Yeah.
dickheads, bro.
No, I mean most guys. I mean, when you go out, even if it's to an easier place, like a bar that's like open at night, where it's just a more casual approaches, you just see guys with like a beer in their hand, just looking at the hot chicks, be like, "Yo, look at that chick, look at that chick, damn, she's hot," and that's all they do
Yeah.
all night, and they don't even approach.
It's
Yeah,
pretty much
I
like
wouldn't, I
sitting
wouldn't
on the
want.
sidelines for life. It's like you're sitting on the sidelines of life. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends who I go out with just to hang out with, and maybe I'll just game throughout the night just naturally. You know, they're not even my wings. They're kind of my wings, but kind of not type of guys. They'll even say, "Wow, I can't believe you did that. Like that's insane. Like I can't do that. That's too much. Like I go out with you, but sometimes I feel like I can't go out with you, Johnny, because you just go up to a girl just to say, "Hey, I just want to meet you," or just "Hey, you're beautiful," and start talking to them. They just like they're just like shocked. Like they're like, oh my god, I almost can't even go out with Johnny because he's just gonna be talking to random girls and I can't. It's just too much for me. You know, some of my friends say that. You know, and it's like, what? It's too much for you. It's like, bro, you never see these girls again.
Yeah, that's weird. That's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not. It's
I've
not. It's
had
not
friends.
weird.
I hang out with my friends who I just want to go grab beers with, you know, watch the games with, watch the fights with, but they see that and they're like, wow, I can't do that, man. How do you do that? You know, they're interested. And sometimes I'll even just be going to some of the same places I normally go and bring girls to bars, hookah lounges, whatever. And the waiters will ask me, like, how do you meet these girls? Like, what do you do? Like, they're shocked. They see me there all the time, same place every day on dates. Like, how are you meeting these girls? I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you know, I just meet them in person and online. But like, yeah, but how do you do it? And I gotta like explain like some of the strategies that I do. You know?
right. That's dope, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love when they guys embrace you and like, me and D actually, I forget, it was like maybe our last session or the one before. We were in a design district and basically he ran across the street. He's always doing some crazy shit. He saw a really hot chick, and I'm like, go for it, man. And he just bolted like across the street and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like telling her, giving her the hand motion to lower down her window. She hopped in her car. And some big giant fucking black dude was like kind of eyeballing and wondering what was going on out there. He saw this take place. He was watching it and like he was like sticking his head out. He came out with like a mug on, but then he started smiling and he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Yo, hell yeah!" He was like giving like a sign, like he was just so into it. He's like, "Damn, you go, guys! Yo, did you get it?" Like he was like encouraging the whole thing. So it was good to
Yeah.
see, man. It was good to see. I hate the haters and stuff like that, man. Like it's good to
Yeah.
see
No,
guys
a lot.
usually like respect it at a deep level. They typically respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in Brickell, some of the security guards say hi to us, like and they know what we're doing, and they like it, and they like cool about it, you know.
Yeah, dude.
In the malls and stuff throughout Miami, they kind of know us and like, hey, what's up, guys? You guys are doing the same thing again? Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool, bro. It's such a good feeling, man. Like they definitely respect it. They're definitely intrigued by it. The reason that and the sad part is like Johnny, we're talking about how like this is super important. It's like a must that you like deal with this and handle this or it will forever fucking haunt you that you didn't, go out there and learn how to pick up chicks, learn how to attract chicks, like get them more girls in your life, develop more of an abundance attitude. Like how do you just put this on the shelf? If you don't, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. And like, and it's the funny thing is like people never even heard of this before. This is suppressed in the algorithm of life.
Yeah,
And like the
yeah,
algorithm of life, like it's so stigmatized and like it's got a bad reputation and like people look down upon it. They'll even like shame you. I remember my first boot camp at 21. Some of the guys I went to like high school with, they were like, "What the fuck is that? Why do you need help, bro? We don't need that. We don't need that." Trying to act like, big shots. But
yeah. I mean, those are people that are always going to be losers, because like
yeah,
I mean, yeah, people will be like, "Oh, wow, like you help guys get good with girls." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "Here, let me show you some of the results. See, this is us picking up girls. These are some of the receipts. These are some of their progress." So it's like they're like, "But how do you help them? Like, what can't they do on their own?" I'm like, "Well, I'm teaching them how to meet girls online. I'm teaching them how to meet girls in person, how to approach, how to go for the number, how to set up dates, how to have a rotation. This is not something that people just know how to do, you know."
yeah, they don't. Dude, it literally is just sitting there dormant. Like how often in life, I always say this, like since the beginning, we come into this world, we start going to school, our parents, our friends, we're always in this sort of like, even right now, we're in this platonic back and forth, you know, chatter, but we're not really tapping into like the flirtatious, sexualizing vibe. We suck at that. And I think that's like typically the biggest bottleneck for most men. They just don't know how to they don't know how to like come across as like a sexual threat. They don't know how to, be more of to be seen in her eyes as more of a romantic partner. And that's the
Yeah,
guy's worst fear. Like after coaching this shit for like almost 10 years or 10 years about, every guy's always like, yeah, I slip back into this interview mode, platonic thing. That's because since the time we start to communicate with people, school, at home, our friends, when are we really tapping into like, it's a skill, bro, the ability to flirt and do it in a tasteful way. Like girls love it. They love it with the innuendos and, you're basically saying, are you DTF without saying it, in a tasteful
yeah.
way. That's basically what you're doing. That's really good game. A guy who's able to like, his sub communication so rock solid, his nonverbals that she knows what's up. Like she knows
Yeah.
what's up. That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
good game to me.
the cool thing what I like about it is like I'm not just doing it for myself. Like the girls that I'm interacting with, they're having a good time. I want to show them a good time. I want them to have the time of their lives. And that's important, because we're going out and we're doing a lot of this stuff for us, but we're also doing it for them. They're having a good time. They're enjoying the fact that we're approaching them, we're going for it, we have the balls, and it's just like we're shocking them almost. It's like we made their night, we made their day. Like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Some of
dude.
these
No,
girls
dude.
thought I made their
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, dude, you know, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right, bro. It's not a selfish thing at all. You're letting your light shine, so to speak. Like, what are you doing with it? Like, you're sitting at home feeling like how my client said, like a hermit, where he's just isolated, yet he's still banging girls. Like, you realize you have to reach that point where you're like, maybe that's not all I wanted. I also wanted to be that cool guy in high school who didn't know anything about game, but he had that magnetic presence where people wanted to be around him. He had a lot of cool people, just a likable individual, who's well calibrated socially. That there's no better feeling than I say all the time. I would rather be socially free than just simply just not be socially free, but fuck a bunch of girls. Sometimes the online experience always felt to me like literally one notch above an escort, calling an escort. Like bang, 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 you do a couple things, copy, paste, get a couple things there. All of a sudden, a girl's coming over your house, you smash, boom, she leaves, and never. It literally is that. It's like it was cool, it's fun, but you're not really using the same muscles whatsoever in terms of just going out, becoming a fucking man. Like enjoying the camaraderie. Uh, you know, sharpening those
Yeah.
social skills, bro. Like she's on the internet looking. This is the biggest difference. They're on the internet looking, to fuck, basically. In person, it's spontaneous. They're not looking. They're just walking around, going to the grocery store. They're not really looking for it. They're not expecting it. So you're catching these girls by surprise, and it shows where you really stack up. That's why I'm not
Oh
as
yeah.
impressed with a guy with a crazy body count off the internet. Like let's see what he could do in person. Like there's usually a pretty big difference if that's all he's done. You know,
Oh
uh,
yeah. No, they're definitely going to be rusty when they go out on the streets with us because it's like I do use online, but when I'm out, like you hit it on the ball when you said socially free. Like there's nothing like being socially free when
yeah.
you're out and you could just approach a girl and talk to her and just feel socially free. Like you're so comfortable with yourself in that moment where you're able to open them, stay in set, and maybe go on an instant date, maybe get their number, maybe schedule a date, whatever you do, close them right then. I mean, that skill is socially free, like what you said. And then when you're online, you're not as socially free at all, and when you're socially free like us, out on the streets, out in the bars, out in the clubs, when we go to a date online, we just automatically feel socially free because we know what we could do in person. Imagine what we could do on this date. And a lot of the girls, they almost feel like they respect me more when I meet them in person and then eventually close them and get romantic with them because it's like, wow, you went up to me in that bar. I always remember you. Like, I'm always going to remember the way that you approached me. And they even bring it up. Like, I can't believe you approached me at the bar. It was so cool. Like, it was awesome. And they like bring it up and it just makes you feel good about it, that you were socially free and able to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's way more aligned with like their fantasy or their fairy tale ending, so to speak. Like it's way more aligned with that, telling their friends, their coworkers, their kids one day, oh, I met dad, like he came up to me, had the balls to do it, like he swept me off my feet, Prince Charming. That's a way they would way prefer that. It's a way stronger foundation. I mean, online dating, people forget like 10, 15 years ago, it was pretty much just a hookup site.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. They no one had it. Like no one,
Yeah,
no one used online dating 15 years ago. So we have that old school approach. Which is awesome.
yeah, it's
What?
way,
What?
dude. Like you said, let's not make any mistakes about it here, guys. Like this is you becoming like a way better man and and better life. A better life, better quality life. More people that you'll attract in your life. People like I've made some of my best friends are now all through basically cold learning this skill set, which is just being socially free, developing your personality. Your personality is linked to like social freedom. How do you let your personality free, and enjoy itself without any social freedom? They go hand in hand, quite frankly. So I'll never forget the day, when I was in a really, really bad relationship, my first girlfriend, 19 years old, a bodybuilding mentor of mine, Charlie Arms, he said, like, you really need to work on your personality. I was a gym cell, like introverted guy. That's it. And he was like, you really got to work on your personality. He just said that. And it really just resonated with me. And like, that's why I'm saying it 21 years later. it really hit home. I'm like, fuck, dude, I really, this is not freeing. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
holding something
yeah.
back, you know?
Yeah, you hit it on the nail with that because back in the day, I did a lot of, hardcore things in the gym. I competed in boxing. I trained a lot of MMA, did a lot of hard sparring. And I was in the gym a lot, bodybuilding and stuff, getting big, getting jacked. But it wasn't until I started gaming where I really felt that social freedom where I just feel really good about myself. So now when I hit the gym, I feel more excited because I'm out of the gym, I'm working out, I know that I'm going to be going out later. I have more to look forward to. Now I enjoy the gym even more because I was kind of like somebody that would just go to the gym and, not really go out much. I would just get my progress in the gym. But a lot of you guys who go to the gym, take it from me that if you if you could like use that same energy that you do to lift those heavy weights and that aggressiveness and you use that with game, it will really help these guys out because I'm sure there's a lot of guys who are already looks maxed but they don't have that social freedom, and that social freedom will really take their life to the next level because it did with me. The whole meeting girls and getting good with girls has really excelled me in all aspects of life, like business. I'm not afraid to go on sales calls. Like I have that social freedom where I can say what I want. I can say what I want to my clients, etc. And just in general, it's made me a better father as well. I have an 8-year-old son, so like it just makes me better overall.
Yeah, dude. Like
In
that's why
all
I keep
all
saying
aspects of life.
yeah, that's why I kept stressing earlier on. I'm like, you could just tell when you go out with Johnny, if you come out at one of our boot camps, like this guy is not, he's not putting on an act. He's very much, he just, it really is who he is as a person. It's just like he blends right in. Like people just tend to like him. Like the women just feel very, very, very comfortable with him. Like, so it's a good trade. You could tell he's really worked on himself. Like, and I do not think that would have came, had he just stayed in the house and had a profile and swiped.
No, not at all.
It's
The
not at
the other
all.
day, the other day, not the last time we went out, but the time before, like 2 weeks ago, there were these like girls doing like this charity shit. And they went up to me about the charity. I'm like, oh, I already donate to charity. But one of the girls was just like into me. And it was just like so easy of an interaction. Like she was begging me to hang out that night. I wanted to hang out. It was her only night in town. But I ended up just hanging out with you, going to Fort Lauderdale and shit, just gaming with you guys, you and D, because I haven't seen you guys in a while. And it's just like I just feel very socially free, and I just want the girls around me to feel very comfortable. So I'm just always like when you live this lifestyle, it just comes to you naturally. So like I'll do both where I'll, go hard and cold approach stuff. And sometimes when I'm out and about with you, they just kind of come on to me. And it's just because they see that I'm socially free and stuff like that. And it rubs off on them because I might be in a set with this girl, another girl sees, I talk to that girl, and they saw that I got the girl's number, and it doesn't even affect it because they know that's just who I am and this is what I do.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically feeling better about yourself. You're feeling good. When you're feeling good, people underestimate that when it comes to game. Again, game is not in a vacuum. It's not an isolated thing. Like, are you feeling good? Are you surrounded by good people? Like that guy is typically going to have a way better foundation to like, yeah, maybe hone in on some of his technical issues that he's maybe having, but that guy's going to have a way better base. After doing this for 10 years, a lot of these guys that come to me, some of these other boxes in their life are not really checked off. They don't have, a strong support, like good friends, not good relationships with their family. Like this is, game is not just in a vacuum. You want to make sure you're just like a well-rounded individual, and that's what cold approach will give you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it will give you. That's why it's way bigger than that. I always say like you're missing the big picture to some of my clients who are so frustrated. They're not getting the results. They're so hyper focused on just the result and getting laid. Like, dude, Johnny's willing to walk away that night for a quick lay. Same thing with me too. That night I met up with Johnny and D. I had one right on the table. I was showing them the messages. Like this girl was like saying some crazy shit off the internet. She just wanted to meet that fucking night. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather just go out with you guys. Like the ability to walk away, I think that's like on Mystery's top 5 attraction triggers. Like the willingness to walk away is powerful. Like, and the
Yeah,
girls
that's
can
one of the
sense
main
that.
things. That's one of
Yeah.
the main things that I like that Mystery said was, the ability to walk away from a girl no matter how hot she is. That's key. And that's when abundance comes in, and not just abundance, just who you are. Like this is who I am. Like I'm a warrior, this is what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Like, yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely. Like he says a lot of good stuff. I just think for whatever reason, I don't know why he really left out. He left out a lot of the stuff like sexualization. I think because he wanted to reach a wider audience. And if you talked a lot about sexualizing and sexualization, like
Yeah, he gave a good foundation, and
yeah,
a lot of the stuff that he said was good, like the willingness to walk away. Some of the things that he said, like
pre-selection is good. I mean, that's a good
pre-selection,
thing.
like I said, like being around girls. Oh, they
Yep.
saw me with this girl, or even if a girl knows to have a girlfriend, it almost helps sometimes. You would think it won't. Like the other day, like somebody messaged me, some girl messaged me, like, "Oh, I saw you on online dating. Does you have a girlfriend?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's go out sometime." Like, seriously. I'm like, "Yeah, that's good." Another girl was 19 that I met the other day, and I used to date her. She wants to date again. And it was like, she knows I have a girlfriend. And it's like, she's like, "Oh, I don't mind if you don't mind." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't mind."
Dude, the
So
way even you're talking about this now, you could just feel it, like the congruency. Again, we'll go back to that because it's like you're owning it. Like
I'm
this,
owning it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
owning it. Yeah, I
you're
have a
owning it. And
girlfriend.
dude, women. One thing I got to give to them, like they really are. They're way better than most men at like being able to size guys up, read. I mean, they've been doing it
Yeah,
since they like hit puberty. They've just been encountering, getting hit on and stuff, and sizing dudes up. They know they can separate the real from the fake really quick. Like they know if you're, oh wow, this guy's really comfortable with this, or like, dude,
yeah,
that's why we shouldn't be so quick to judge some of these girls because like some of the most prim and proper women, bro, just because I worked on that ability, to get like quick car pulls, like some of the most prim and proper girls, they were in my car blowing me, and like just because I was projecting that comfort. I was just making it so normal, almost gaslighting them into thinking this is a normal, regular thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
crazy. Like
Like, how many girls have told you, like, "Oh, I've never done this before. Like, I've never banged on the first date, or I've never went home with a guy from the club, or whatever. Like, this is so new to me."
that's
You
where the
know?
red pillars get it wrong. They're so focused on judging the girl, but what about looking at it from the, if you flip the light on yourself, like, no, I was had the ability to give her that experience, to let her feel free of judgment, and let
Yeah,
her experience, have some fun, have an
yeah,
adventure, go out with a guy who she could tell is not going to judge. He's not his first rodeo. Like, it's not that she's a
yeah,
whore. Like, why are you viewing it from that girl? No, I was able to bring that out of that woman. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's how I view it. It's a way healthier mindset to have, you
yeah.
know.
I never had the red pill mindset of the way that they view women. And I never really agreed with it. It was more like,
It
you
doesn't
know,
make sense, bro, because
yeah, I take what somebody says, and if some of the things that they say I might agree with, some of the things I don't agree with. It's never a one-way thing. You don't want to be too close-minded, guys. It's not good, especially if you want to get good with girls, you know?
yeah, some
Yeah.
of their art it falls flat on the face once you start talking about like, well, in one breath you guys are talking about like sleeping with a bunch of girls or 50 plus women, 100 plus women, but then avoiding hoes. So like you're creating a bunch of hoes
It doesn't
too.
make sense. It
That doesn't
doesn't
make
make
sense.
any
That's
sense.
where me
Yeah.
and you are telling you, like, dude, just drop the whole other half of it of like these girls are just total hoes. I think
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't
never
serve
I
you.
never judge a girl about no first date or whatever. Like, a girl could be a girl could be sleeping around and might make me wait 3 dates. And a girl might be a borderline virgin and I sleep with her on the first date. I never judge a girl like that. I don't
That's
judge a
good, Johnny.
girl.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't
That's
judge
why
a
you got
girl.
what
I
you
don't
wanted,
judge a girl if she has tattoos, or
dude. A lot of
even
it.
even if she has a kid or whatever. Like, I'll go with the flow and I'll take whatever life gives me. I want to be good with girls. I never want to be too red pill mindset. I would rather teach guys to be like, let's go ahead and make this money. Let's get girls, and let's be masculine men, but we don't need to take things to the extreme. You do what you want to do with it. If one of our clients wants to get married and that's what they want to do, if I'm not going to tell them, any red pill shit, if they want to get a bunch of girls and have a rotation, cool. We can help them with that. I'm kind of want to do both, yeah, in my life.
Good, and that's why having that attitude and mindset goes to show you how far everything is really just mindset. Having the right mindset, and obviously the mindset grows stronger and stronger with actions. Obviously, you have to put in the work to develop, or else the mindset is meaningless. Like you actually, and that's what game really is the woman sizing you up to see are you who you're presenting yourself to be. are you who you are? Like a lot of guys will fold. They may copy a few of the lines I say in field, but then all of a sudden, when push comes to shove, he's not even DTF. So I'm saying it from a standpoint, no, I'm really down to fuck right now. That's my sub communication. But then they'll take those lines and be like, yo, I'm not getting the same results as you, Scotty. I'm saying the same stuff. Yeah, because where that's coming from, I'm actually owning it, and I actually am down to do that. That's it. It's born from me really being down to do that. So yeah, you can't just, you know, copy and paste this stuff. You have to really take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, like, all right, am I really DTF? Because there's a lot of the stuff, you're going to be saying to these women are like very sexually explicit, sexual innuendos. Again,
Yeah, yeah,
are you
you
down? You're
gotta be
basically
ready.
like,
You
are
gotta be
you
real
down to
with
fuck?
yourself.
Are
Yeah.
you down to fuck in a tasteful way, in a tasteful manner through body language, eye contact, things of that nature, where basically that's what you're trying to communicate to them. Uh, so, and a lot of times when you catch a green light, those guys are going to miss it. It's going to bounce off their forehead because he's actually not. So when she is given the green light, so you're doing all this work, and then the one gives you the green light, and then you miss it, and then you're not even. Oh, you're taking a number. Why are you taking a girl's number? Why'd you stop at that? Oh, I don't know. Well, you're not really. You're not even ready to pull the trigger, bro. You got to be ready to go if you're really gonna try this style of game.
Yeah, yeah,
That's rule
no,
number one. Like, are you really DTF, bro? Like, make sure you are, because some girl, you either might get beginner's luck, some girl might give you a green light. Are you going to take it, or are you going to take a number? And then it really lowers your percentages at that point. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, you really got to live it. You really got to like believe in yourself. You got to live it. You got to be down, and you got to be ready to pull the trigger, guys. Because if not, you might get a green light. And that happened to me a lot in high school and shit, where I didn't really know what to do. And when I look, you guys kind of look back and you're like, damn, I could have had that girl. She was all over me, but she was my best friend. I didn't know what to do or whatever. And then as time goes on, you get good with girls. Now it's like, okay, I have to pull the trigger now. I have no choice, or else the girl I may not see her again. So you guys got to know that if she's giving you the green light and you're not going for it, you're not going for the kill, she's gonna find another guy who is, who's down to go for the kill. So that's important, Scotty. And it's like we said, you got to kind of live this lifestyle where it's engraved in you to where like, okay, I'm ready. I'm pulling the trigger now.
Yeah. And one last thing about the girls and the red pill stuff and judging it, they're trying to make
Yeah.
they're trying to turn it into some sort of like math equation. It's the equivalent of how silly we view women when they think like astrology is the end all be all. Oh, you were born, in April, so I'm not going to get with you. Like, you're that short
Yeah.
sighted and narrow minded. It's ridiculous. And the guys look in the mirror. If you're like, oh, dude, she slept with, five girls, or you're vetting a girl based, I mean, five guys or whatever, like. Body
Yeah.
count shouldn't be the game a deal breaker. I mean, I guess to a certain extent, but you're not. That will come. Like, it will naturally
You're
show.
gonna know. Yeah, you're gonna know
Yeah,
like
it will,
from
instead of
experience.
asking it directly like an idiot. Like, you'll realize you're not compatible with her. Why are you afraid of that? That girl will get weeded out naturally if you're looking for a
Yeah.
long-term partner. It's going to happen. So you
Yeah,
don't
that's
need
why
to.
that yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I never like when it comes to the red pill, I never like judge girls firsthand. I'll approach them, I'll go out with them, and if they're compliant, I'll keep them around. And if they're faithful to me, I'll keep them around longer. If they show that they're faithful, I don't really care too much about their past and stuff like that, or what I heard or what I think. Oh, this girl has tattoos. Oh, this girl used to be a bartender at a strip club or whatever it may be. I don't judge the girl. I'll go out with her, and if she's compliant, cool.
sure.
I'll keep her around, and if she's faithful and I want a relationship with her, the most important thing is that she's nice, she's faithful, she treats me good, and then we go from there. But like
Yeah.
the red pill guys will take it to the extreme. Oh, this girl has tattoos. I won't go out with her. Oh, this girl has a high body count. It's like, how do you know? Like, how do you know?
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
here's the thing, like that will take care of itself. Like the most important part will weed itself out. Like if you guys are just not compatible, like don't worry about all that other stuff. It will be revealed. You guys just won't be compatible. Like if a girl is a total whore, like and she's just out there fucking around, like
You're gonna know.
obviously,
Like you're
like you're
gonna
gonna
know.
find out. Yeah, you're gonna find out. Be like, nah, this
You're
girl's
gonna
just
find out
yeah.
pretty quickly from my experience.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
That's just with good game, you'll realize after a while, like, nah, you're not gonna make a mistake. Oh, whoa, oh, Scotty, what if I make a mistake and she's a whore? Like, I need to know that information. No, you don't need to know that information. You'll find out if you've been with enough women. You'll be able to read it and size it up. You guys will not be compatible, and it will take care of itself. There's no point. This is not, handing each other resumes about each other, what you guys have done and didn't do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why having abundance and experience in game is important because you could weed a lot of these girls out. Like if a girl's annoying, you could stop talking to her. You have other options. If you find out the girl's a hoe, like you're gonna know from experience and the way that she's acting and the way that she's hiding stuff. You're gonna know, like, okay, cool, whatever. Let's keep her around a little bit and let's go to the next one.
Yeah, dude.
But if you don't have that experience, you don't have that exposure, then you'll never know. And that's why a lot of guys will meet the first girl, fall in love with her, and then they don't know that she's a huge hoe because they don't have that experience.
They
How are
don't.
they gonna know? Like, we'll know. I'll know right away within a few times hanging out.
It's 100% true, bro. It is. It's true. And look, for example, I don't know if you saw a viral clip of that guy Clav. He was out at a nightclub for Valentine's Day, and it's been going viral. Like he basically fucking. It's pretty funny, dude. He just took this guy's girl. She was just right in front of him, bro. And this guy was. You almost felt like so sorry for him, but in the same breath, like, bro, this goes to show you there's a lot of guys that are down bad. He wasn't even like an ugly guy per se, but he was sitting there begging Clav, like, bro, please, man, please don't take my girl, man. It's Valentine's Day. I've been with her for a year, bro. And she's literally just ignoring him. Go like not just totally
Wow,
fucking
you
ignoring
gotta
him.
send me that video. Yeah,
Yeah, and he
I don't
and she
watch.
just
I don't really
bro,
watch too many guys. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It was like a clip that was going around viral, and like
dude, that's
she just
crazy.
walked in a sprinter van and left with Vlad. It was wild, bro. Like, and this guy is sitting there like begging, bro. If my girl was doing that, it's a wrap right then and there. Like, it's so crazy to
Yeah,
me. But
yeah.
again, guys, that could be you. Like, that
It
could be
could, yeah,
you.
it
That
could,
could be you.
and you won't really know because you're just settling and you just don't have that experience. Like I've hooked up with some girls that would probably do some stupid shit like that, but I those are girls that I know to just kind of keep around on rotation for a little bit. But a girl to be with me for the long run, I screen out a lot of those things fast, and the number one thing for me is respect. I
Yeah.
won't keep a girl around long term unless they have respect for me, you know. So, but I've seen crazy shit like that, and I know me and you have ran into girls that had boyfriends and possibly even married and stuff. And not that that's the right thing to do, but we have that ability to do that. So we've done it in the past. Not that that's the right thing, but that goes to show you. I mean, they're married with kids, and they're in town in Miami with big boobs, and they're so hot. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna turn it down. So it's like, that happens a lot. Unfortunately, but like that's why, like, I'm
Mhm.
blessed to have met guys like you and D and go out and get these experiences, and the other guys in the industry that I've hung out with. And I
Mhm.
feel like it really leveled me up as a man, because now I'm not going to take no shit. I mean, I never would have, but
It
you
feels
know
good. It feels good. Like, cause listen, I'm
we're
always
set for
humbled.
life with this, basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's a permanent fix, really is. Like, I remember hearing that, and I was like, permanent fix. It really
Yeah.
is a permanent fix. Like,
No,
by
I
that's
feel like set for life. Like I'm
yeah.
good. Like I know exactly what to do, and I just got to go and do it.
It doesn't mean I'm not immune to like normal, worldly things of like, yeah, things hurt a little bit, but you just move
Oh
on a
yeah.
lot quicker. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's a deep like knowing there's a dude, you can't fake abundance. You just can't fake it. Like, you either have it or you don't. And yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
sting. It sucks breaking up with a girl you like or whatever and moving on because you want to see something succeed, but it's for the better. It's for better. Of course, you grow bonds and attachments with a girl you've been sharing a lot of time with. Of course, that's natural, but you're not going to feel devastated, bro. It's not, you're not going to feel fucking devastated. You're just not anymore. I will not like,
Yeah.
it may take a couple days, like adjusting to her not being in your life and stuff, but like, that's why, again, having the right support. I love Johnny's like enthusiasm, D's enthusiasm. Like, the guys I'm surrounded by, they're not going to let me, sit there and be him a pity pot and sulk all day about this shit. And like,
Yeah, we're like, no, man, we're gonna get right after it.
yeah, yeah, we'll move on. Like I remember D one time after my last girl that I broke up with. He's like, bro, what are you talking about, man? Like, you're Scotty, dude. What are you talking about? Because I started going down that,
Yeah,
feeling bad for myself for a minute, and he just bam, like caught him. Like, you're right. Like, he's like,
yeah.
because they're not emotionally invested. Every guy's going to get emotionally invested in a chick they really like. That's not what we're saying here. It's going to happen, but you're going to be able to just bounce back a lot quicker, bro. Some of these guys are done. Like, they're devastated. They'll never ever get out of. I hear guys bitching about a breakup 5 years ago. They're still wrapped up with
There are
this one
guys trying
girl.
to get it back. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
guys I know that are trying to get their ex back or their wife back after she cheated and shit like that. Like I know one guy who's bodybuilder, jacked, no homo, handsome dude, well off, and like he's still trying to get his wife back, and she like cheated on him and left him, and he's trying to
Wow.
make it work. And I'm like, man, you do what you want to do. But
Bro, you
yeah, I
need, that's
mean,
why, like, guys, this is an emergency. Like, this is like absolutely essential. Like, this is not something that you should just,
this is something that all guys need.
you need it. You can't postpone this. And it's been suppressed in the algorithm of life. People don't want you to find out about this information. They don't want you to
Bro,
bump into it.
I wish I knew about this when I was 13, 14, 15, man. My life
It
would have
should be
been
part of the
better.
curriculum, but I think it's systematically avoided. A lot of people don't do it,
A lot of
and
people they don't even know like this exists, you know.
yeah,
They just living, you know, they just don't know that they could get better at this and they could get better at this quickly. Like you
very
get
quick.
good at it quickly.
Dude, I'm telling you, I would line up like five of my best students easy, like up against any one of these like dating coaches that are out there.
Yeah.
I say that humbly, like they would respectfully, they would fuck them up. Like if there was some sort of like, just objective, who's got better game and who's got better ability, like you'd be able to see pretty quickly what's going on. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, like I never like try to compete with anybody or anything like that. But like when we go out or when I go out with D, like I just feel like top notch out there, you know, and you know, I want the best for everybody. I want everybody in the industry to do good. But yeah,
me
I
too.
mean, me, you, and D, and some of your other students. Yeah, I mean, it's we're up there for sure.
And listen, about you mentioned the looks maxing thing earlier, and I feel like this is like, all over the internet now. It's kind of taken over the red pill shit or whatever, or it's a part of the red pill. But like,
Yeah, it's like super popular right now. Like everybody's
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
looks mixing. Yeah,
And the funny thing is, like, the Good Looking Loser was kind of one of the OG, I guess you could say, looks maxing like places. Like, it was revolutionary from like the pickup world standpoint. Like the stuff me and Chris
yeah,
were recommending, like dick pumps and shit, like anything. It,
yeah,
it, it had a pretty aggressive approach to self improvement in general. Like the stuff we were saying, like, was pretty taboo.
yeah.
Like things people.
And it's still taboo. Like people are like, oh, you want to look smacks, or oh, you want to use a dick pump or whatever.
It really is still
That's what I
taboo.
like.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I like about my career in general. You know, helping a lot of bodybuilders out with compounds and stuff. And now, like online, I talk a lot about biohacking, and I talk a little bit about looks maxing, but more about biohacking. But I'm not ashamed to bring up male enhancement or anything like that on my channel. And
bro. I think Johnny, if anything, like he really optimized his whole look. Like, again, back to the congruency thing. Like he's really leaned into. He doesn't, with the tattoos and stuff. He just owns his look. He really is, fully. It just looks really good. He's optimized his look so well that he makes up for whatever, shortcomings he has on paper. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that's the idea of looks maxing, being able to compensate for some of the things that are not maybe your strongest assets, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't phase him. Like, you could just see it. So it's like, you guys got to see this guy in field. Like he's taking, Miami eights, nines, and wrapping them up and getting their numbers and stuff like that.
yeah,
And it goes totally against what a lot of these just looks maxers, look for when excuses. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed, dude. A lot of that internet stuff just crumbles one day in the field, like a few hours out in the field, cold approaching. A lot of that shit just goes to shit because it's so volatile. It's not a computer, it's not a math thing. It's like you see all these random encounters, like you brought up earlier, Johnny, about that one girl who brutally fucking rejected me. She wasn't the hottest chick we approached. Then I turned around and got a fucking girl way hotter than her.
Way hotter,
So,
way younger, and it was
you know, a
immediate.
lot of a lot of it doesn't add up. Like it's so there's so
Yeah,
many inconsistencies to it, you know, and it's so vague. And like the majority of people are, I guess, if you want to do numbers, are anywhere between five and maybe or 4.5 to like 6.5 range or something like that. Where it when you have that when they're that close, any little thing to get the edge is going to make a difference, such as game or, you know, leaning into your sexy stereotype. Everybody's got a sexy stereotype they want to kind of lean into, whether it's like the bad boy, you know, maybe biker look, or you know, D leans into like the professional business guy look, and he looks great that way. That he
yeah,
really owns it, and it fits his lifestyle. You know what I mean? I think that's again another thing that goes under the radar when it comes to developing like a well-rounded game and how your skill set is going to be. But you have to be aligned with the style you're trying to project, the sexy
yeah,
stereotype you want to like ingrain in this girl's head. You know, like every girl has like a celebrity crush, right? You know, like sometimes a lot of girls will say like I look like a young George Clooney. I don't know, whoever their Hollywood crush is,
yeah.
or even I get even a lot, believe it or not, like Adam 22. I don't like the guy at all. I don't know him, but like
That's
um
funny. Yeah,
he's funny. Like a lot of girls find him really hot. I remember this one hot girl, this hot Latina chick back in New York. She's like was all over me because she immediately linked that I looked like Adam 22 and she thought he was super hot. She thought he
yeah,
was super fucking hot. Man, she's like, "Oh wow, you look like exactly like him." I'm like, "Whatever. It's working now."
yeah,
So it's like girls will link their celebrity crush with some sort of sexy stereotype you should be leaning into. And I think
yeah,
you definitely leaned into that and optimized your look. It should, yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely true, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had girls to tell me I look like Vin Diesel or like The Rock or whatever. I'm like, dude, The Rock's like 6'4". I'm like 5'6", but thank you. But yeah,
Right.
so I would say that looks maxing is important. I would say looks probably gives you like a 20% advantage, which is huge, which is huge. Um, but I would say that when it comes to game, you got to just look good enough. Like you don't need to be the most handsome guy. You don't need to be the most attractive guy in the world. I would say that you want to look good enough. Like you want to be in shape enough. You want to be dressed well enough. You want to have like good enough haircut, beard, good enough. I don't think you need to be like super, super good looking to get a bunch of hot chicks. I think it gives you like a 20% advantage
Yeah.
and like you want to just look good enough. But I think everybody should be trying to maximize their looks, whether it's through workouts, supplementation, the way that your haircut is, your style. Because yeah, like you said, every girl has their celebrity crush. Some girls have said I look like Vin Diesel or The Rock or whatever, or like a UFC fighter. Like, oh, you look like that UFC fighter. And I would say it's definitely important. I think that 20% is huge. But a lot of the guys, like the red pill guys and the looks maxing, will be like, oh, it's all looks or it's all money. When that's obviously not true. Those things give you an advantage, but it's the game, it's the way you present yourself that matters the most.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't get a lot of clicks and views. Everything is about shock value, something that's extremely polarizing to say, like, all,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my wings are like 6'5", 6'6" dudes, and sometimes it's, you know, you'll be surprised who gets the hotter chick that night.
you'd be surprised, bro. That again, this is why I think even originally Good Looking Loser was even born. Me and Chris
Yeah.
immediately we linked up after kind of like stepping away from the whole pickup industry. Brad P was good, but we kind of wanted to do our own thing. And a lot of it was born out of that. Like Brad put us two together for that reason. He's like, "Oh, I think you guys will hit it off," like we would literally get at these pickup boot camps, like, what are you two guys doing here? A lot of the other students would say that because we didn't fit the prototype. You know, I don't know. He was 6'3", ex-football player, like pretty good looking guy. I mean, obviously as we're getting older, we're starting to not be as good looking, but like we still are. But like back in the day, I don't know, man. Like that's why Good Looking Loser. We felt like it wasn't enough. If
Yeah.
everybody was viewing us as like, damn, you shouldn't even be here. You guys should be crushing them. What are you guys even doing here? Like, because you actually have to work at it. Like, we're not, it doesn't come to you in life. Like, this shit just doesn't get handed to you, bro. Like, it just doesn't unless you're like Leonardo DiCaprio. And I don't even know. Like, I think we tend to overvalue celebrities. Like, how many, now that everybody's life's on camera, you're seeing a lot of these guys get exposed for being simps. They still didn't
Yeah.
learn the essence of the abundant mentality. You would think, why is Jonah Hill or this celebrity like, how many celebrities have been exposed as total fucking bitch boys? A lot of
Yeah, a
them.
lot of guys you hear about like their wives cheating on them and them staying with them and just crazy shit like celebrities getting divorced.
That's
It's like
what. That's why I
why
believe the
how are you getting divorced?
abundant mentality is an inner game job. It's a mindset thing. It's something that's not tangible. You have to like earn that and work for it. Hence why money by itself in a vacuum or looks by itself in a vacuum. It's what you do with what you have, right? So can you bag hot girls when you're broke? You know, when your looks aren't at your best. You know, I got my last girlfriend when I had a hoodie on. I wasn't expecting it. I'm in a hotel at the Wyndham in Atlanta with my dad. We were looking at some real estate and we were checking out. And I'm just sitting there like waiting to leave. It was like breakfast hours. All of a sudden, like around the bend, you know, this hot girl comes walking around the bend in the hotel. She's like leaving breakfast. And I turn over, I see her, and I just bam, I just go, walk right up, do my normal thing, and just, you know, introduce. And she was just like
Oh,
swept away.
oh, that's amazing.
It wasn't even like my that it wasn't like A level game. It wasn't, so you can get so good to the point where you feel like, you know, your B level game will work and to still blow out most guys. Like even when on an off day or you have no social momentum, that's the goal. That's kind of the point where you want to get, where you could just have not be out gaming and doing volume or running mass approaching and still hit. If you have to go 1 for 1, you have the ability to go 1 for 1. You know, you got to be willing to go and
Yeah.
go. You know, where you're
Yeah,
you're
it feels good. It feels good to warm up, but sometimes it's the first girl you talk to that's the hit, and you got to be ready at any time
yeah,
because
bro.
if not, you're going to be like those guys who have those missed opportunities.
You're
And
not going to be able to maintain a lot of those peak states that you get from like when you're really on fire. It's like a basketball player who catches fire and one swish, boom, he can't miss. He can't miss. He's just on fire.
it's not always going to be like that. Yeah.
Look at Brickle D. He's like just bam, bam, bam. He's just always on fire, and it's crazy, bro. But like
Yeah.
what that does, those experiences, they're known to lift your floor. Your baseline is not going to be the same now. So yeah, you're going to come back down to earth a little bit after that in your normal life, but your baseline is lifted now. You've now
Yeah.
lifted that because you've hit some crazy peak streaks and you know your baseline when you're just not even gaming or anything or talking to chicks, you're forever, you're making permanent changes. Your game is forever changed even on an off day. Your baseline, your floor has been lifted. That's what they do to you, you know, those experiences for
Yeah,
sure.
that's why I recommend still going out, even if you're not having the best day. Like you could be feeling like you're worse, and then all of a sudden you just meet the hottest girl you see, and just boom, it clicks. I mean, maybe you could get rejected multiple times in a night and not having the best night, and then boom, the last one's the home run. The jackpot hits.
True, man. Usually in life, anything like perseverance is usually rewarded. Me and D talk about that a lot. Like we're usually do. We've had so many sessions where through you know, unfortunate circumstances, whether weather, you know,
Yeah,
lack of volume, we've just persevered, and they end up becoming like some of our better sessions. It's crazy. It always happens, bro. Like
yeah.
we
He
fight
had some
through
good
tough times.
progress. He had
Yeah,
some good progress. I remember he told me about a session you guys had, and he was like in the rain, and he ended up meeting a girl, getting her number, and like going out with her and like closing, and it went really well. And she was like girlfriend material. But
yeah.
it was just like, damn, you met her in the rain and everything. He's like, dude, I was getting rained on and everything, and I stopped her while we were both in the rain, and that was crazy.
Dude, it's about like again that's you're building character. That's what I'm saying. Like this is bigger than just swiping on a phone. Like you're building character. You know, you're learning how to calibrate socially.
Dude,
That's
not
part
many
of it
guys
too,
would
bro.
approach
Like,
a girl in the rain. Yeah.
dude, as a coach, dude, I could get flown out to California and work with an Asian student who wants to, strictly kind of like focus on Asian girls. You got to be ready for anything, any environment, any city, anything like bar game. Not you got to be ready for anything. You got to be very well rounded. And I told Johnny and Dee the other day, I said if I were to name one thing that is the most important aspect for a guy to have good game, he's got to have good calibration for sure, socially calibrated, be able to bring it down, pull it down. I get labeled or categorized in a box sometimes by some of these guys, like in the pickup world. Does like, oh, you just does super advanced sexually quick game. No, I'll take it when it's there. But if she's
Yeah,
not
you'll take it
giving me
when it's
that,
there.
yeah, I'll bring it back down. I'll stay in if I feel it's worthy enough, and she's a little bit slower to it than some other girls. So it's about calibrating, being in the right environment under whatever circumstances, dude.
Yeah,
That's
you hit it on the nail with the calibration because like down here in Miami, it's a bit more like hardcore. You got to like kind of shock these girls because they're so used to getting approached, and a lot of them are like those brickle girls, and you got to have like the perfect set. And then when I go to another city or I go up north, I got to kind of tone it down because I'm so used to that hardcore Miami game where it's like the girls, you got to really get their attention for them to
yep.
even notice you. I go up north and it's like a lot easier. I got to actually settle down so I don't scare them away, and it's different. So you got to be calibrated to like tone it down, bring it up. Like you can't have the same game in like Georgia as down here in Miami. You're gonna have to tone it down a little bit over there compared to over here. You know what I mean?
It's true, bro. It's true.
Uh,
It's fucking incredible. Like it's really cool to see. That's why I think every guy should leave their hometown. Like if you've just been gaming in one, little nook your whole life, or you're just a night game guy, or you think you're this way, you just game in grocery stores, whatever you've been just focusing on primarily, like just give yourself a chance, like try some other things that you may not be so interested in. It will make your game a little bit more well-rounded and well-versed. You'll develop some of those calibration skills that we're talking about because like during the pickup house, my student who's gotten really good and now he's even like an assistant for me, he's we went to Atlanta. That's funny you brought that up. And
yeah,
we've been primarily focusing down here in Brickell, and you really got to see in real time, the speed difference and the
yeah,
mindset and the environment. Just the collective mind in Atlanta was a lot slower and a lot, more approachable, warmer, welcoming. Like
oh yeah,
dude, he didn't know, bro. He went with the same style that I've been kind of teaching him down here for Brickell and Miami. And due to his first like four approaches, like 0 for 4, and the girls were getting scared. That's the different tempo and speed, and the same exact game. So he's like, bro, he's like, damn, Scotty, I noticed you just automatically like must have sensed out the environment and felt that it was different, that your game doesn't even look the same, bro. That's how
yeah,
important this is. It doesn't even look the same, bro. Like you can just
yeah,
open with, yo, hey, you're really cute, like something really laid back, and they're
yeah,
way more willing to stop.
yeah.
In some of these environments you've seen in Brickell, you gotta fucking get in front of them. Like Johnny's
Yeah,
like
that's why
grabbing the
that's
girl
why I
by
like
the
growing up
hand,
down
like
here because it's harder down here for a lot of guys. They come down here and they have a hard time, especially like in the Brickell area and stuff like that. So when I grew up in Miami, so I'm so used to the girls kind of being standoffish that when I travel to more of a smaller town and I go up north in North Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, all those places, it's a lot easier for me because I could just be more chill about it. Like, hey, what's up? I want to meet you. Yeah, what's your name? And it's just totally different game, like you said.
it is.
And a lot of like the process is the same, but the actual like approach and and like going for the kill and stuff is just a little bit different. You know what I mean? Especially the approach. The
Yeah.
actual approaching that you do, like your openers and stuff. Down here, I got to be a little bit different than up there. That's what I like about hanging out with you because I normally when I'm not hanging out with you, I do a lot of like the local bars where they know me well and it's just casual meeting girls like, hey, what's up, what are you girls up to, and just start gaming from there. Hey, I just want to meet you real quick. But over there in Brickell, I got to do more of like a shocker opener when I hang out with you because you'll be just shocking them in the
Yeah,
street and
yeah,
stopping them, and it's totally different. So that's why I like hanging out with you because you're more of a street game guy, while I'm more of like a bar and club guy. You know?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, growing up in, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, growing up in New York City, like just the it's even more intensified in today's day and age. Like 20, these girls, the attention span, the over, there's chads everywhere walking around down here. That's affecting their brain. Like everybody looks good. Like they don't have, like your window is so small. They'll ruthlessly destroy you. I've seen down here in Miami some of the worst blowouts I've ever seen doing game. Bro, you have
Yeah,
to like, yeah, it really feels like verbal warfare. Like you're stepping into the octagon with these chicks, or they'll run you the fuck over if you don't like really blow them out of their socks. We like to say like, authoritative stop. You have to have a really authoritative stop. If there's a little bit of a indecision and a little, hiccup to your step, and it's a little bit offbeat, your positioning's just slightly off, you're cooked. That's how quickly you lose a girl. Like if you come on from a bad angle, uh, you know, if you're a little hesitant, you're cooked, bro. You're cooked.
yeah,
You have to stop these girls down here with like a straight authoritative stops, and the quicker you let it out, like you're absolutely beautiful seems to hit really nice because boom, you're stopping them dead in their tracks. You're not giving them a second to even like to think. You're letting them, you know, get it right off the bat. You don't want to come off as like you've been choreographing this, or you've been thinking about it, or you're asking them a question. Like there's no time for some of these girls. You just have to get in there. It doesn't mean
yeah,
you're going to get every girl, but I guarantee you'll start to feel a difference in the way you're being rejected, even because those girls are even the ones who are going to say no. Say they're going to say no at the end of the day, regardless. A lot of those girls don't stop. You're holding the married woman's hand, in those sets. You know what I mean? Like if you're going in with any sort of like premeditated, can I meet you? Excuse me, that type of stuff. Like they're gonna just blow you out if the girl wasn't. Meanwhile, you go in like that, you're rubbing up on like married girls' hands. It's real quick and real to the point. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You're
yeah.
honestly giving them no reason to get out. Like they can't get out almost. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I like doing a lot of the street approaching with you because I'm so used to, and a lot of you guys can benefit from this. I'm so used to like, the bar and club scene where it's like closer in. You could just start approaching. Girls are right near you. It's just so easy compared to the street. You hanging out with you, I learned to do more shocker openers. Well, I'll just go in front of a girl and be like, "Wow, you're
Yeah,
absolutely gorgeous," and they're
yeah.
like, and then you start going in and doing a thing. It's different how the different environments, like you can't use the same opener at night game, a day game, or you can,
Because
but
because
yeah, the street compared to the bar, is different. I'm not gonna be in a small bar and just stop right in front of the girl like a madman. But sometimes during day game and Brickle, I might have to just go right in front of them, like you're absolutely beautiful, and just go right in and just go from there. You
Because
know,
Johnny, honestly, it's more. Think about it. Like, just think about it from just a basic psychology. It's more congruent. It really is. Like, it's more congruent. If a girl's
for
walking pretty,
real. Yeah,
fast pace, like up and down the street, like you don't have time. It doesn't hit
you don't
as
have
well.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, think like I always say this. Think about it in your own case. The other day, it happened to me, and some dude, like when those little guys come up to me with the chocolates, or someone's trying to sell me something, we do tend to dismiss the whole like, hey, excuse me, I just want to do this. Like you're asking, and no, 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 no. But when someone, it's almost better to get a good, reaction out of me. Like someone says, "Yo, Scotty," like I turn, I'm looking, they got my attention. Like you're in there. It's just more. I think for that type of environment, it's just more congruent. It's more, yeah, it's more aligned with that type of that style of approach. It really is. You know, fast
yeah.
paced movements. You have to get in there, and there's no time to sit there and explain. And that's not to say that, oh, that dude that worked for me the other day. Yeah, obviously it can, but it's what's most optimal for your regular dude. What's the best play call right then and there? What's the best move? Anything could work for anybody. some guy could say, "Hey, bitch," and that could work. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's the best. It's the most optimal. What's going to give you the best percentage? That's what we're all trying to do. You know, so if a guy's just doing, if you depending on what you look like, your product market, you could really scale back. Like you might have all those things aligned, and your running game that's probably not the best, probably for the most other people, right? That's how I
Yeah,
view it. Like uh,
definitely.
yeah, so some really, really good looking guys, and that are like Brickle guys that, maybe someone like Clav, he just walks up and says, introduces himself and could get away with that. But I still think at a basic psychology level, he would get more stops. Or someone like that could even get their game to another level. Like he may be getting good with what he thinks, bro. I don't need it. I'm getting good results now. With that type of stop, he'll get more stops and more girls. I would guarantee it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, man. Definitely. And like I said, like for the last 3 years, I probably spent a majority of my time approaching at night in bars and local bars that are really open spaces, restaurants, stuff like that. But what got me better was doing adding in some street approaching and cold approaching during the day, which is for me is harder because I'm not used to it as much. So now that I've been doing it more and I've been getting good results during the day and doing more of like what we talked about, the shocker openers and getting their attention, practicing that when I go out at night, it's really easy. Not too long ago, me and D, we were doing some day game, and they were like, "Hey, let's just go out at night again." We went out at night. It was just easy. We went to a rooftop, and there was girls everywhere, and we did everywhere we looked. There was girls. It was just way easier compared to doing some street approaching.
Because
You
like
know.
it's more along the lines of like the online, but in real life, it's they're out there. It's more permissible, and they're looking for it. They're really, really looking for it. Like catching a girl walking, her dog or up the block. Like it's not as day game is not as permissible, and
Yeah, it's
that's
like we
why I
want to
think
be well rounded.
having more of the caught you by surprise thing, like so spontaneous. You have to come off as like her Prince Charming, like, oh, I couldn't resist. You don't have to say those words, I couldn't resist, but that's the subcommunication you want to put across. Like it's not a real permissible thing, to be doing it. Like some environments are like you could feel in the air like this nonverbal, like leave everybody the fuck alone. We've all been to some of these
Yeah,
cities where nobody wants to be getting approached during the day. You could just feel it in some of these bougie areas and fucking even design districts sometimes. Or like I went to Austin one time, and I think there was a bougie part of like Sixth Street or some shit, and it was like,
yeah,
yo, no one was having it. Like nobody wanted to be approached. You could just feel it in the air, So you gotta play with it. You know, there's always leave room for some flexibility. That's the beauty of game. Calibration again, like maybe tone it down a little bit if the vibe is something a little bit slower. That's why it's a
oh yeah,
very customized, individualized process. This is not listen to a guy on YouTube and he's saying just some direct things. He's giving you some framework stuff, but it's not a cookie cutter thing. It's extremely customized, bro. And you know that. Like, so
yeah.
if you don't have eyeballs on you, a set of fucking professional eyes objectively breaking down where you're going wrong, where you're not going wrong, you'll miss out on a lot of things that you can get better at, for
Yeah, I mean, we're
sure.
trying to help guys get well rounded, so they want to be you want to be good in all aspects, whether it's the street approaching, whether it's day game, night game, different parts of town. Like you said, different parts of town. Brickell's different than Design District. It's way different than Wynwood. It's way different than the Grove and South Miami and all that shit. So
True.
I have to know how to calibrate everywhere I go, the vibe and stuff like that. The end goal is still the same. I want to get the girl's number, get to know her, instant date, pull her to the bar, pull her home, whatever. But, wherever I go, it's going to be a little bit different, you know?
Yeah. I
And
think that's
some
the
guys,
beauty, dude. That's the
some
beauty.
some of you are going to feel more comfortable in certain places where you're getting success at, but it's important to try out other things and other avenues to get you even better and more sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a big proponent of that. Don't like, listen, folks, and don't take what I'm saying here as like, don't, lean into your strengths. I do believe in that, but I think it's important to just develop a pretty deep bag if necessary. You got to be willing to improvise and try different things out. And your range, all of a sudden your personality has way more depth, way more range. You're not just a one trick pony. You could do a lot of different things. When called upon, you could play the game here, you could play the game there. What if you happen to be in a place where that is not your optimal market? Like the bikers don't really look like they belong in Brickell, but you could still bang with the best of them. You want to be able to play no matter where you are. And the same thing goes for sports. Like think about it. Like it's never the same thing. The game plan kind of changes. The goal is to still win, but Tom Brady has a lot more depth. Like he may have to just pound the rock due to weather changes. Like you got to adjust and improvise, bro. That's the name of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
look at game like it's almost like mixed martial arts. Like imagine you just had boxing, you get destroyed, or you just had wrestling, you get knocked out or submitted. So in game, you want to be well rounded. So if you're good at day game, you're good at night game, you're good at online, you're good at club game, bar game. Dude, you've traveled, you're just becoming well rounded and you're just ready for whatever compared to somebody that just does online or just does night game.
Yeah. Dude, I took
Yeah.
it as a massive compliment. Like I didn't even know this happened, but when we did go up to Georgia, me and my student, the pickup house, dude, I didn't even know. Like he's like, bro, the reason
Yeah.
you didn't bring it up, he's like, you just automatically shifted gears without even like addressing it or noticing it.
Yeah,
So
that's that
you can get to the
experience.
point where you just dude, you've been to so many places, you've tried so many different things. You just immediately sense that it's a slower pace. And I didn't even address it. We weren't coaching, we were just out walking around as boys and friends. So like it wasn't until he's like, bro, what's going on with me? I'm getting fucking destroyed here. Then I was like, all right, oh shit, I can't. He's like, bro, you just naturally changed. You felt it and
Yeah,
changed. You didn't even bring it. It just happened automatically. So the idea, guys, is that you want this to become like autopilot for you. It doesn't have to feel like a big conscious effort. You get so good at reading the room and picking up on social cues and different dynamics that you're a master of it. Really, you become a master at size reading people, reading situations, and feeling environments. There's a vibe to every town, every city's different. You know, you really got to feel where you're at, bro. You got to have you lose all that by sitting behind a computer. That's what I'm trying to say is that you're really honing in on your social awareness and all your social skills are really getting good. There's no doubt
yeah,
about
no,
it.
absolutely, bro.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also we're designed to connect with people. Like human
we
beings
are.
we're not born to sit behind a computer all fucking
No,
day and
no,
look
we
for
need
girls.
interactions, and
Yeah.
we need like affection from women. Like as men, we need affection from women. We need to be around people, around friends. Like imagine you're just going on online dates and you have no friends. It's sad. Like I'm telling you guys, like my online profiles is good. I've done a lot of work on it. Photographer like photos, expensive photos, good biography. I know exactly what messages to send girls, how to get their number, how to schedule dates, but I still go out because it's just so much more fun, man. It's just so much more fun. And I just feel like I get a lot better at the craft for sure because it just evolves in everything and I just become more well rounded. And then, of course, we're going to get better options as well. Not only
Yeah.
are we going to be more masculine going up to a girl and approaching them and doing what we do, but also we're going to get better results with hotter women, with more options compared to just being behind the computer.
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah,
You're
because the
you're
main thing, the main thing that guys wants is results. I'm telling you right now from experience, you're not going to get the same results just doing online. And that's coming from somebody who's been doing online for years. I have what's a lot of people would say probably the best profile possible,
yeah.
and I still go out.
Because what's the alternative? Like you have to look at it as again, we keep stressing like lifestyle and it's who you are, it's who you become. Like you live for it, like the love of
Yeah,
the game, the love of the game, like
yeah,
you really just, what is the alternative? What are you going to do? What do you guys, those listening, like, what is your alternative? You just work endlessly and you have no time. Well, you have to learn. There's some point during your day where you go out and you go out and about, whether it's a, grocery store, something, you go shop. You got to make sure you start to be around people and socialize and interact with strangers, meet new people, before we even get to like bagging your dream girl, like, you have to start from the ground up. It can happen really quickly. You can get to that point pretty quick.
Oh
But
yeah, no. If guys were to hang out with us for like a weekend
right.
and do like a boot camp with us, like we could get them good within a weekend, and stay in contact with them, and they can improve quite quickly. I know from experience because I was never like a natural, but yeah, I had some girlfriends and stuff. But
Yeah.
then about 3 years ago, I just went balls to the wall with a game, maybe a little more, like three and a half, and I got very good quickly because I dedicated it. I dedicated a lot of my life to it. So like you can get good definitely fast. It's not like MMA where it would take years to get good at wrestling or something like that. It's more
Yeah.
like, you could get good pretty quickly with some practicing and approaching and correct strategies and structure. I think structure is huge, like putting some structure in your life and doing everything right, having the right strategies to do it and making it part of your life.
Here's the thing, man. Like, there's always a call to action. Like, you have to just be able to go out there, and do it, man. At the end of the day, you really do. You just have to be around the right guys, because you'll view it right now. Don't get me wrong. We're talking about the lifestyle and the congruency, but it's not going to feel like that for you if you haven't been doing that. So it's going to feel like something outside of your comfort zone, which, it's all about, there's always going to be growing pains. There's going to be tough times, but tough people last. Like, there's going to be growing pains because you're not used to this. So if
Yeah,
you
I think a lot of guys are getting. I think a lot of guys might be getting bad advice too, because some of the other people in the industry might overcomplicate it, or they might just not be good at what they do. I don't really watch too many YouTubers because a lot of them I don't really agree with what they say.
Yeah.
But there's a handful of guys who I respect in the industry who are pretty good. Um, I think a lot of guys I don't want them to get the wrong advice and then try and it doesn't work, because like if you guys get the right strategies and the right structure, you definitely could get good quick. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure. For sure, man. And I think that's the thing. Like,
because like we were probably not naturals. Like we were kind of like gym incels, where we would just go to the gym and not really interact with much girls. But you had guidance, I had guidance, and we got good because of the guidance. And then we wanted to get better at it, so we just kept with it, and it never left us. So if you guys get the proper guidance, like with me and Scotty, and the right structure and the right strategies, and then you decide to do it for the long run. I mean, what you learn from us could just dedicate for the rest of your life. And impact the rest of your life as well.
yeah,
Because I'm always worried about guys getting the wrong advice for some of the other people in the industry. That's why I never really got into the industry, even though I got good quite quickly, because I never really liked some of what they were saying, like the whole red pill stuff, and some of the other coaches that I kind of seen. No name calling, of course, I've never name called, but I just don't really like where the whole manosphere went. Oh, it's all looks, or oh, you got to do this and overcomplicate it and do all this weird things.
yeah, dude.
I think mystery gave us like a base on what to do, and we could use some of those strategies, and then we just improvise it. We learn from experience and actual approaching, and just get better over time.
Yep. You hit the nail on the head, bro. It became something when I came back after like it took like a 7 year hiatus into like monk mode. I left New York, and it's a whole long story, but like I was out of the game for like 7 years. And basically when I came back, yeah, I didn't like the direction the industry went at all, bro. Like, there was no red pill or any of this shit, dude. It was just, as corny as the pickup artistry stuff was with Mystery and guys I learned from, Brad P. Like, I think they had the right idea. Like Brad was like mystery, but on steroids. Like he was talking about sexualizing. He kept his anonymity in check. Mystery was like in it for more of the fame part of it too. So
Yeah, those
Brad
guys
wanted
were
to remain
legit.
in,
Those
yeah,
guys were legit. Those are the guys I respect.
yeah, yeah. So like
But I see some of these other guys, and I'm like, yeah, I don't. I hope some of these guys aren't following that. I'm always worried about you guys following the wrong coaches. So you guys want to get with the right coaches if you're going to do this. And Scotty's definitely legit. I know firsthand experience. He's legit. I've been really going hard for 3 years, and then seeing you in field. Just being around you, I get better. You know.
I appreciate that, Johnny. Yeah, and I know coming from you for sure. Like you've been around some of
Yeah.
the better guys in the space and everything. And dude, I mean, I just it's one of those things. It's a confidence inside of me. Like I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know the value I have, and I don't like you. You should really have a good evaluation of yourself. And this is just something that I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into it. And then at the beginning, you're right. I had the right mentors around me, the right guidance. It just happened to be the right time of my life. Like New
Yeah.
York City before the blow up of social media, like, bro, it was like either you suck with women or you go out there and you
Yeah.
get good with it. Like there was no third option. There was no, logistics suck. Like there was no excuses. I don't get me wrong. I profiled as somebody who could get very good very quickly, which I took advantage of, and I saw it as an opportunity. But
Yeah.
honestly, there's no comparative. Now I'm saying that in hindsight, but back when you're living in the moment of whatever time period you're going through, you don't have much of a comparative analysis. Now I'm comparing like, yo, the world has changed quite a bit because we're given all these other options. Like, all right, bro, you could put aside, cold approaching for, just strictly online game. Like that, dude, there was no option for that. Like you couldn't do that shit back in 2008 or you would get destroyed and you'd be a loser. Bro, I remember one of the boys on my block, like he got a girl off Plenty of Fish, his girlfriend, and everybody else on the block, we were all really close friends, and like we started laughing and like kind of joking and clowning them and shit. That was the stigma around it, bro. I was like, what? You met your girlfriend off Plenty of
Yeah.
Fish? Like that shit was
Yeah.
corny, But now
Yeah. Now
it's
it's like
just
what everyone's doing, and that's cool. I do it too. But if that's your only option because you're either afraid or you don't know what to do in person, I mean, or you don't have any friends, there's really no excuse, man. I mean, going out and meeting girls in person is just going to elevate your game, to the next level. But
yeah,
yeah, that's good that you had good mentors, and I've had some good people in the industry help me out, and yeah, that really helps. It really helps being
but
around the right people.
you're and just we can wrap this up in pretty soon. But I'm saying like you're absolutely right. Some of those guys that come from some of these other coaches, honestly, sometimes
Yeah,
they're
you see it
harder.
firsthand. You see
Yeah,
it
I see it
firsthand.
firsthand, and they're harder to actually like change the most. You'd almost rather a guy with a complete clean slate, doesn't know any of the terminology, hasn't like been brainwashed by some other guy's techniques, like,
Yeah,
and following some other guru that he
yeah,
realizes what brought him to me in the first place. Like now he has to let go of some of these ridiculous techniques that he heard that wasn't getting him results. So
yeah,
honestly, yeah, those guys can actually set you back, for sure.
yeah.
So
That's why I wouldn't. Unfortunately, the industry probably got a bad rep because some of the other guys are just not teaching these guys correctly, and it's it's it sucks because then they won't get the results that they deserve. They put money towards it and they didn't
yeah,
get the results compared to working with somebody like you or somebody like me, where we would really help them and they would get their money's worth. It's a shame. I feel bad for some of these guys. Because I've seen some of the some of the other YouTubers and I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy, dude. And I'm
that's
sure
the problem, dude.
you've even seen it. Some of your students, they come from other coaches and you're like, what? And they paid all this money and they're disappointed with the results. So they're hoping you can help them, and then you help them, and like, wow, I would have went with you from the get go.
Yeah,
And it's try, and that happens with all industries, business and stuff. But there's going to be
this
good
is one
guys.
you. This is something you don't really like. It's a harder. It's a more serious issue that if you develop bad mental habits and stuff like that, it's a little more tedious, and it's tougher to like get in there and actually fucking rewire this guy's brain after he's been fucking programmed. It's pretty
Yeah.
serious, bro. Like that's why guys should. Unfortunately, we don't view this as something that is urgent, that is critical. It should be part of the curriculum, like growing up. But for whatever reason, like I said, it's just suppressed. Like it shouldn't be taken lightly. It should be taken very seriously. And that's all we could say. Is like definitely hop on this opportunity. We'll be running more boot camps. I'll be doing a pickup house in Atlanta. Hit me up. I'll be there for the next 6 months, and I'm going to keep running cycles in other cities, maybe New York, but we're going to see how it goes, and
Yeah.
reach out for coaching for sure.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Yeah, I mean, Scotty will definitely get you to the next level. And if I do some boot camps with Scotty and help you guys out, I'd love to help you guys out as well and get the best results possible. I love this. I live the game. I love it. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on, Scotty. We're gonna do this again for sure.
Yeah, definitely, Johnny. Yeah, and Johnny, definitely, honestly, I would not. This is the hardest part. I've been doing just one-on-ones because I'm very, very particular with the guys that I even that I would trust. And as an
Yeah.
assistant, like it's really, you can't just pick anybody. Like they have to be aligned and really see your mindset and how you run it, and we're on the same page. It's really, or it won't
Yeah,
work.
I've done some boot camps before with multiple guys who have the experience. So us two together, we would
Yeah.
really help. We could help multiple people at the same time and really crush you, especially in these big cities like Miami, where it's my hood. So if you guys ever want to come down to Miami and work with me and Scotty, you're welcome to as well.
Oh yeah. All right, boys. Yeah, sounds good, man. Do you want to shout out tell guys to check your Instagram out? Like you do
Yeah,
fitness, and Johnny
yeah.
does any sort of fitness, diet, anything,
Yeah, yeah.
training.
So I'm an online fitness coach, supplement expert, biohacking expert. You can check me out, Coach Johnny U. If you're into biohacking, lifestyle, I even talk about game on my channels. That same name, Coach Johnny U, on right now Instagram, Facebook. I'm getting a new TikTok and on Rumble, Coach Johnny U as well. You'll find me on Rumble as well. So, but yeah, Instagram is my main spot. That's where I have most of my following, Coach Johnny U. Just like that, type it in. Thank you,
Nice.
guys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Johnny lost his YouTube like a while back, but he's now here. He's a
Yeah.
guest, so he's welcome back anytime. You guys are
Yeah,
gonna.
I'll get another YouTube soon as
Yeah.
well. It got taken down recently, but it'll get back up, and you guys will see a lot of my content on Instagram and Rumble.
All right. Awesome, Johnny. Thanks for hopping on, bro. We'll catch
Take
up
care.
on the other one later, bro. Peace out,
Later, bro.
guys.
Peace.
Peace. So listen, guys, tap in with me, coaching, get your game leveled up. I'll be dropping some more infield in the very near future, and book a session right now. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.